we announce the arrival of the governor of Benue State, Reverend Dr. Hyacin Yomem, earlier in the capacity of the Deputy Governor, Barrister Samuel Ode MNI. Mwalo kwa nekizatio kwa usuruli hene Nigeria matachi ngunengi na anselume masipande nenu zeneki tembi kishi ahumbadon mwalo kakizatio bakura kwa neji yamo ngunengi neve sikitao Nigeria chi hige kwa kita nechi bakitalo kuwa kwa manengi sipande nenu zeneki tembi sili yombadido ahumbadon na nemba niruteni ne fotoma kwa nizede kumara keji tire neji no yendo tire ne kera. Please let us stop rotting around the arena, please, if you wouldn't mind. Please, can we take our seats so that we can keep the ball rolling, please? The cameraman, please, can you take your position so that we can see the high table and we know what we're doing, please? The cameraman, if you wouldn't mind, can you take a better position, please? Cameraman, can you take a better position, please? Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment we invite one of our elders who is always close to God to pray for us, to take this project to the hands of God, because this is a very wonderful edifice that is going to happen at this hour. On that note, I crave your indulgence to invite one of our elders in our party in Buruku, former director Dr. Nishi. Please, can you come and pray for us, please? Dr. Nishi is the one coming to pray for us. Thank you.
Shall we go in prayer? Our God and our Father, we thank you for who you are. Very loving, very forgiving. It is by their grace that we are seated here this afternoon. Our God and our Father, we want to bring this assemblage into your hand stay here with us. Give us their blessings so that all that we will do here will be for the glory of your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Director Nyishi, for that wonderful prayer. Your Excellencies, our paramount father that is here, Your Royal Majesty, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, the Permanent Secretary, Water Resources, Benue State House of Assembly, party elders that are here, party members, our youths, the security men that are here. I crave your indulgence to invite my brother who we're working together today. We started the journey in Makurdi at the JSTACA University, where the Honorable Minister commissioned a very big project on behalf of our own, the former governor of Benue State, senator for 12 years, minority leader at the Red Chamber, former minister for 4 years, now the AGF secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator Dr. George Akume CON, our leader, the leader of our party in Benue and North Central, who the minister just did a job on his behalf before we come here. We give the entire people of Benue, especially our father, the fourth apology by not being here at 10 o'clock. Your Royal Majesty, please pardon us. We started a journey in your former house, the university, before coming here. Thank you, our father. Now, I will invite our brother who is from the ministry, the PRO from the ministry, Matthew, to come and introduce our visitors so that our father and the governor of Benue State will see his visitors. Thank you very much. Mr. Matthew.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Our leader and our boss, the Honorable Minister of Water, Resources and Sanitation that have led us here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't come here alone. Engineer Professor Joseph Telumu Usave, the icon of the Ministry of Federal Ministry of Water, Resources and Sanitation, hasn't come alone today. The Honorable Minister have come with his entourage, very senior management of the ministry. Leading the pack, ladies and gentlemen, is the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Water, Resources and Sanitation, Mr. Richard Filangwa. Is right seated there. All right, thank you. Please a big round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we also have on the entourage of the Honorable Minister of Water, Resources and Sanitation, the Director of Water Supply and Support Services of the Ministry, Mr. Babanide Mukaila, is also there with us. Also with us is the Director, Dams and Reservoir Operations, Engineer Dala Ali, is also with us this afternoon. Thank you, Director. Thank you so much. Also on the entourage of the Honorable Minister is the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry of Water, Resources and Sanitation, Mrs. Fumilayo Ogogo Mwotia. Ladies and gentlemen, it will interest you to know that she's my immediate boss in the ministry. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. Also with us is the Director, Irrigation and Drainage, Engineer Mrs. Oyeronke Oluluyi. She's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. She's also with us this afternoon. All right, she's somewhere seated there. Of course, we also have on the entourage of the Honorable Minister, okay, the Deputy Director, Procurement. He is overseeing the Office of the Director of Procurement of the Ministry. He's also with us this afternoon. Just All right, we also have with us, ladies and gentlemen, the Director, River Basin Operations and Inspectorate, Engineer Christy Odu is also with us. Thank you, she's there. All right, thank you so much. We also have other categories of the staff of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation that have come with the Honorable Minister this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, my humble self, my name is Agbajo Matthew. I am the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry. And at this point, quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite my colleague to please come and continue the proceedings of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please, a big round of applause for him as he comes to the podium. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Matthew, the PROs of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, for a very wonderful job that he has just concluded. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have our governor seated, His Excellency the Executive Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Iyomem Alia is here, heavily represented by his deputy, the Deputy Governor of Benue State, Barrister Samuel Ode MNI. Recognize the presence of the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, a young man that is doing very well across the country. The young man, I will call him Mr. Projects at the federal level, who is our own, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Ian Telumun Utsev. Can we put our hands together for him, please? We also have the Honorable Commissioner of Water Resources and Environment and Climate Change in Benue, Honorable Ogoe Odo, who is also here with us. We have in our midst the Senate Committee Chairman on Water Resources, former Governor of Zamfara, Alhaji Abdulaziz Yari, Senator representing the good people of Zamfara State, here represented by our own, the Senator representing Benue Northeast, the Right Honorable, and the Senator, because he was in House Arrest member, so he's the Right Honorable, and then Senator representing Northeast, Benue Northeast, at the Red Chamber, Barrister Emmanuel Memgao Dendi. We also have the Special Advisor to the Governor of Benue State and Water Resources, Honorable Mary Msendo Inyamkumebea. She's also here with us. The Acting Managing Director, Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority, Barrister Udu, is also here with us. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have our father that is here with us, the paramount ruler of our states, the 13th, the 4th, the 5th, sorry, the 13th, the 5th, His Royal Majesty Ochivili Professor James Otesi Yodua Ayati CFR. Can we put our hands together for our father, who is the chairman Benue State Council of Chiefs? We have the Chief of Staff to the Governor. I've seen him here, Paul Biao. We have our State Assembly members are here in their very, very much numbers. We have our mother who led them to be here today, Honorable Mrs. Becky O'Payne, representing the good people of Gboko local government. We have Honorable Comrade Zahami Abraham Jabi, Benue State House of Assembly, representing Buruku local government. We have our member, I've just cited him, representing the good people of Buruku at the Federal House of Reps. That's the Green Chamber. The Right Honorable Sika Zua Iotom. Let us put hands together for him, please. We have Honorable Gabo representing us, the Benue State House of Assembly. We recognize Honorable Douglas Ekia, Benue House of Assembly, member representing Makudi South. We have Samuel Agada, Benue House of Assembly, representing Okbadibo. We have Anyo Matu, Benue House of Assembly, representing Kwandi East. We have Mangi representing the good people of Taka at the Benue State House of Assembly. We have in our midst Ezra Nyiyongu representing the good people of Ukum, Benue State House of Assembly. We have Peter Uche representing Guma 1 in Benue State House of Assembly. We have Elias Audu representing us, Benue State House of Assembly, Gwe East. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, our father is here with his subjects. We have Tojemba, His Royal Highness David Afato Ajoko. We have Gboko, His Royal Highness Gabriel Sosum. We have Buruku, His Royal Highness Moses Hanyo. We have Tembako, His Royal Highness Gandoro Oroka. We have Mwete Gboko, His Royal Highness Ikba Ahua. We have Mwete Bemacha, His Royal Highness Iji Tazo. We have Mwete Banyam, His Royal Highness Tifa Adingi. We have two. Batera is also here. We have two. All the traditional rulers of ours are here with us. They are sitting over there with our father. Please, we don't have much time, but as we go on, we still recognize people. We recognize the CMD Federal Medical Center, Makodi. Professor Joseph Koto is also here with us. We recognize the party elders are here, the Jemba elders. We recognize the former chairman, Gboko, former advisor to the governor, the #1 crucial PA to the SGF, Honorable Prince Abu Ayaji is also here with us. Recognize our chairman, APC, Jemba, Honorable Engineer Benyakime is also here. All our party chairmen are here. I can cite the one in Guma. Lazarus Asima, the chairman of Gboko. They are all here. All our party chairmen are here. All our party stakeholders will recognize everyone that is here. Because of water time, we cannot call names by names. We recognize the former Commissioner of Works Engineer, Mangi Emmanuel Tokuma is also here with us. And then we have the DG NISA is also here with us. Please, you bear with us as we go on, we recognize you. Please and please. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we can be indulgent to briefly tell you little about this project that we are here to flag up today. The Gboko Waterworks Project, Ameladu, Gboko Local Government, Benue State. The Gboko Waterworks Project started by our former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida administration. And up till now, this project was abandoned. And this project was established in I understand that Matthew knows more about this project more than I do. So now I invite my colleague Matthew, you give us a very good brief about what happened here and what we're here today. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Time is of the essence for us and this program. We really don't have much time. And so I just crave your indulgence that we use the little time that we have and use it very usefully. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all right. I have the pleasure and a great honor, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon to invite my boss, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Water, Resources and Sanitation, Mr. Richard Filangwa, to please take the welcome address. I'd like you to give him a very big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon. Thank you, my Permanent Secretary.
The Executive Governor of Benue State, here represented by the Deputy Governor, Barrister Samuel Ode, MNI. My own Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Professor Joseph Telumu. Members of the National Assembly here present, represented by Senator Emmanuel Udende, Directors of the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, heads of our agencies, members of the Benue State House of Assembly here present, our development partners, the traditional rulers led by His Royal Majesty, the Totif, other community leaders, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the occasion of the flag-off ceremony of the rehabilitation, upgrading of Buruku Gboko water supply project in Benue State. The Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation and the entire water family felicitate with the people of Benue State on this significant milestone that every society and community aspire to witness. Our gathering here today is a testament to the commitment of the federal government at addressing the water supply challenges and providing access to clean water and sanitation for all Nigerians. From available records, this project has been a long-standing desire of the people, and we are happy that this is gradually becoming a reality under the leadership of the present administration of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. I would like to commend the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, my own Honorable Minister, Engineer Professor Joseph Telumu Utsev, as always, for his visionary drive in the water sector reforms. His unrelenting efforts have been instrumental in securing funding for this and other projects in the water and sanitation sector. I'm sure that the people of Benue State are extremely proud to identify with you as an illustrious son that has committed so much to bring to his people the dividend of democracy as we are witnessing today. We assure you that the federal government will not relent in providing support to help deliver on this project within available budgets and given expertise. We will work closely with the state government, contractor, and other stakeholders to ensure the smooth implementation of the project. Once again, I congratulate the people and government of Benue State on this milestone achievement. I wish you all the best as we embark on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing the positive impact this project will have on our livelihoods. I thank you all for listening.
That was the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water, Resources and Sanitation. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to celebrate him once more. Put your hands together for him for that wonderful speech that he has made this afternoon. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. Next on the agenda, quickly, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will be taking Goodwill messages from some very important dignitary. I'd like to plead here that please, the Goodwill message should be the summary of your summary of the message. If you can do it in 2 minutes, we will be glad. All right, before I quickly do that, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to also inform that the Director of Special Duty of the Federal Ministry of Water, Resources and Sanitation is also here with us this afternoon. Of course, we also have the DG NISA, Umar Ibrahim Mohammed. The Director of Special Duty is Chuks Mbakwe. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to now invite my colleagues who will be inviting those to give a Goodwill message. Mr. Benjamin, thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we quickly invite the microphone of the House Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation, the Right Honorable Sada Soli, here in the capacity of our own, the Right Honorable Seka Zuayotiom, House of Reps member representing the good people of Buruku local government and the constituency. Let us put us together as the Sada Soli is coming to give his Goodwill message. Please, we plead that if you can give in less than 1 minute, that would be very glad. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, here represented by his deputy, Dr. Samude. Your Excellency, the Minister of Water Resources, my brother, Professor Utsev, Your Royal Highness, I also like to say that I acknowledge the presence of everybody here. Because of time, I will continue to give the speech of the Chairman, House Committee on Water Resources. The House Committee Chairman on Water Resources supposed to be here himself, But very unfortunately, he traveled to Saudi. He'll be coming back next week. And he asked me to represent him here. I'm a member of this committee also, Committee of Water Resources. So he asked me to represent him in this occasion. Your Excellency, we from the House Committee on Water Resources and the entire House, led by our Speaker, Dr. Tajir Abbas, we are very happy for the initiative of this project by Mr. President, and well supported by our own very son, the Minister of Water Resources. When this project came out in the budget 2024, we did not hesitate. We make sure, no questions, the budget was passed. Of course, there was some delays in funding, but with our able minister who has been working round the clock, the fundings also are here now, and the project is about to start. We can see heavy equipment that other side. At any moment, they can start work now. So we, at the National Assembly, the chairman said I should thank the Benue people, especially the traditional rulers, for giving maximum cooperation on this project. This project has been lying here for over 30 years, because I remember it was around 92, this project was, they said they commissioned it, but it was not well done, all the pipes were not functioning. And we believe, with the support of the House and the Executive, this project will go on very well, and the people of Buruku will enjoy the dividends of democracy through this project. And Gboko will enjoy it too. We have nothing to say much, but just to appreciate Mr. President. He's doing wonderfully well. In short, Mr. President, through our leader, Senator Joseph Kume, he's doing a lot of things for Benue people. There will be a lot of criticism, but what I have to tell you that, check records, things are happening. Billions are coming into this state. It has never happened before, and it will continue to happen in Jesus' name. Amen.
Can we put our hands together for the representative of the Chairman, House Committee on Water Resources, the Right Honorable Sada Soli. Can we put our hands together for him, please? Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, where the Permanent Secretary, Water Resources, where we are seated at this moment, we have a wonderful mother of ours that is representing this place at the Red Chamber. The former First Lady of Benue State, now the House of Reps member representing Gboko, Taka, Chief Mrs. Regina Mbabekumto Wekume Jugudajo. She's the one representing this place. And she's here in the capacity of the SLA Noba. Is going to give a very brief goodwill message on behalf of our mother.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, ably represented by his deputy, Your Excellency, the Minister of Water Resources and Environment, Professor Seb, His Royal Highness of the Chief Traditional Council, Professor Yate, members of the National Assembly here present, let me stand on already established protocol. Action! Today has marked a very remarkable day in the people of Gboko, Taka, and Benue State and Nigeria at large for this remarkable project that is here to be unveiled by the Minister of Water Resources, the son of son of Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President. I'm standing here to represent our mother, Her Excellency Regina Kume. I want to say here on her behalf that the people of Gboko are very, very happy seeing this project coming to life under the leadership of Mr. President, President Tinubu, in collaboration with our dear father, Senator Dr. Jojo Kumen, the Secretary of the Government of the Federation. I think it is by his collaboration, and today we see our son, Professor Yase, bringing us on board. I remember our mother has been in talks with the minister for the past budget of 2024, and even today, the budget of 2025, to see that the Ameladu Waterworks project has come to life. And we are happy that today all of us have gathered here to see and witness the flag off of the renovation project of this water project. My mother asked me to tell the people of Gboko that the essence of voting people into power is to bring home the dividends of democracy. And today, as you can see under our leader, a lot of democratic project has been established in Benue State. We can see that not only this one, the construction of first primary school project, 6-story building located at here in Ipiav, in Igaru, is also in commensurating with what we are here today. So the government, under the leadership of our dear father, is to see that good things has come to the people of Benue. He has asked me to tell you that the National Assembly, members of the National Assembly are putting heads together with the leadership to see that a lot of dividends of democracy are brought back to Benue. They are engaging the Benue people in a constructive criticism by showing evidence of what they have produced. So may the Lord give us this project as we continue to bring life to the people through the installation of water project here today. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
That was the voice of our mother, the member representing Gboko Taka, Chief Mrs. Regina Akume Jigudaju. Let us put our hands together for her, please. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please, we are running behind time. If we invite you here, we plead with you that please, the protocol is already established. Once you greet the minister and Toti, that's all. And the governor of the state, that's all. Please, you go on and then make your own goodwill message. Now we're going to invite the Chairman House Committee, the Chairman Senate Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation, Senator Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, here in our capacity of Senator Memga Emmanuel Udendi, Senator representing Benue Northeast.
Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Benue State, ably represented by his deputy, Honorable Dr. Samuel Ode MNI, my colleagues in the National Assembly, Your Royal Majesty, and indeed all the traditional rulers here present, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, I crave your indulgence to rely on all the protocols already established. I'm giving a speech to read on behalf of the chairman. Strictly, I'll go to the speech. I'm also a member of the Senate Committee on Water Resources. I'm indeed highly delighted to be part of this epoch-making and momentous event to mark the flag off of upgrading and rehabilitation of Buruku, Ameladu, Gboko waterworks. It is obvious that over the years, because this plant was not operational, the benefiting communities experienced the challenge of clean and safe water supply. This ceremony is therefore significant and a step to address this problem. Let me therefore, on behalf of the committee, express our sincere appreciation to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his relentless effort to improve the quality of lives of the people. It is pertinent to note that this ceremony clearly demonstrates this assertion, and we sincerely thank Mr. President. In the same way, I must acknowledge the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and his team, Professor Terumunutsef, for driving the vision of Mr. President in water sector. It is worthy of note that you have shown uncommon commitment and dedication to your duties. The event for which we are gathered here today is clearly a product of this dedication. On our part, as a committee, and indeed the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I want to assure you and Mr. President of our unwavering pledge to continue to be partners in progress to realize your laudable objectives for our people. We will therefore ensure that adequate funds are appropriated for this project, just like others, to enable the contractor to complete it on schedule. Similarly, we will undertake necessary oversight to put both the ministry and contractors on their toes and to ensure quality work and that the project is executed speedily for the benefit of the people. Finally, I want to thank all of you, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we put us together for the Senate Committee Chairman on Water Resources, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, here represented by Senator Emmanuel Memgao Dendi, Senator representing Benue Northeast. Can we put us together for him, please? Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I crave your indulgence to invite Honorable Mrs. Becky Opin to speak on behalf of Benue State House of Assembly members.
The representative of the Governor of Benue State, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Igbadu Ude, MNI, our Father, His Royal Majesty, to TIV and the TIV Traditional Council, our son, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic, who wears two caps here, Honorable Minister, is also representing our father, the Secretary to Government of the Federation. May I respectfully stand on the well-established protocol. On behalf of members of the Benue State House of Assembly, Orunae Duanafa, due is like a court. That is why we are all standing up. We are equally significant, and we are all representatives of our various constituencies. Mom go above the other guy. We make bold to say that we are grateful to Mr. President for the great initiative which will improve not only health, sanitation, and other areas of human endeavor, and of course, activate our economic activities in this initiative. None of us told the importance of water and sanitation in the overall development of our communities, as contained in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 6, which Goal 6, I beg your pardon, which aims to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, emphasizing the obvious reality that water is indeed life. We commend the commitment of the Federal Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, led by our very own engineer, Professor Joseph Telumon Utsev, for diligent implementation of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope Agenda, which seeks to provide basic amenities for Nigerians, creating jobs, boosting the economy, like I said earlier, and enhancing food productivity. You can see today that the project that has spanned over 30 years being given attention. This is not a mean feat. And we also hope, as checkmakers of the executive, that due process will be done. All the procurement procedure will be followed in the conduct of this project, so that at the end of the day, the people of Buruku, like they said before, Ameladu is part of Gboko, and Gboko main town will be better for when this program, this water project eventually takes off. On that note, would like to thank very, very specially the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for this laudable initiative. Thank you all for gracing the occasion. Thank you, party faithfuls. Thank you for giving us the audience. God bless you all.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together for Honorable Becky Opin, the member representing Gboko, good people of Gboko local government, for that wonderful Goodwill message. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to invite our father, the man of integrity, the man of honor, His Royal Majesty, the 5th Ochivili James Otesi Iozua Ayati, the Chairman, Traditional Council of Chiefs in Benue, to come and give his goodwill message. Our father is a professor. He speaks Queen's English. You listen and listen very well.
Thank you very much.
Let me first appreciate the Almighty God who has given us the message to see today. And I welcome the governor of Benue State, very well represented by his competent deputy, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, with all his very powerful delegation from Abuja, the revered traditional rulers that are here. Let me stand on existing protocol because of shortness of time. In my goodwill message, first I will do appreciation. Let me, number one, appreciate the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the visionary who is determined to transform this nation for this wonderful project. And I know that in spite of his vision, if we didn't have our own, perhaps this place might not have been picked up. So I appreciate my son, the Honorable Minister, Professor Engineer Utsev, who is my son. Many of you don't know that Professor Utsev is my son, was my student when I was Vice Chancellor of the university, and I employed him in the university, and today he's a professor and minister. Honorable Minister, standing here, let me just remember when you used to gather and say, all we are saying is, give us water. Today, the people of Benue are saying, all we are saying is, give us water. Thank you, Honorable Minister. You may be seated. You see, I trained you to do it, and joy is that we have not been able to reach, you will reach. So thank you for this, and I want to really, this afternoon, especially appreciate the synergy that I can see here. The Honorable Minister driving this. We have this wonderful project that will upgrade this, involving, including the reticulation, all the way to Gboko and extending to neighboring towns. This is wonderful. Let's put our hands together. And our very able, dynamic governor also taking the issue of water straight on with the recent approval of, rehabilitation and completion at Otobi in Kasinala and so on. So Benue water will flow. So I want to thank you very much for this project, and I want to appreciate all that have played a very significant roles in ensuring that we are here today to flag off this wonderful project. The people in the National Assembly, the people in the ministry, and all the stakeholders that have put their hands together to ensure we are here today. We thank you very much. And what I want to say here again is a pledge. I am talking on behalf of the host community, the people that will benefit from this project. I want to pledge that we will take ownership of this project. We will protect this project. We will watch over this project. We will ensure that the originators of this project have no regret to ensure that this project is put to use. Babebe welentone kwa mama saga. Aba via gongumba wani mgele mbizende hitane chi mama saga. Mama hebega. Awa tapu zomunu mgele ola vihiga. Hama kuwave hene chi sikula. Kamgele machio. Wadize yoga. Kakuwa mlo walunla. Mwashi kenge yenpa. Ejuni oli hene mwachenge yenpa. Olu na vihi kwa hea choka nadena. Hama kwa hea. Unaza dido. Awashima. Abengelema. Asambela mihi Gboko hea. Anale aye mami lese. Anale aye mami uwe. Pasasi tuwave. Sesu tonne. Setuwave. O mama mavihi kwa henga. Shacho. President pa asa ahunyo. Wan waso walwele ntoma president pa asa ahunyo. Kako mso walone hene chi jene. Mso ne chi. Onda navele shatomne. Tono zadodo. I want to thank you all for being present here. And I pray that when you finish, you go back safely to your destination. God bless you all. That was the wonderful voice of our paramount father, the Toti, the 5th, His Royal Majesty, Ochivili, the 4th. Okay, our paramount ruler, the father, a wonderful father of ours, Toti Ochivili, James Otesi Yozua Yati. Our father says something in Tiv, and I understand Tiv very well. He said that this water, this project, whoever that tamper with this project, the equipment that are bringing for this project, if you tamper with the project, you are going to die. That's a very strong warning. And he's also said that if you comply with his rules, the president of this country, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, the commander-in-chief, will be very happy with the good people of Benue. His son, that is working very hard with the president, the HGF Senator Dr. George Akume, CEO, will be very happy as well. Can we put that together for our father, the Toti? Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, now I will invite the Ministerial to take over from here. Mr. Matthew, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for want of time, I'd like to quickly bring us to speed once again, just to remind us on why we are here. We are here for the flag-off ceremony of the upgrading of Buruku Gboko water supply project here in Ameladu Headworks in Benue State. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure and the honor to invite the Director of Water Supply and Support Services of the Ministry, Mr. Babari Demokala, to please come forward as he gives the overview of this project. Can you please help me to celebrate him as he comes? That's the Director, Water Supply Services of the Ministry. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. The Honorable Minister, sir, through you, I greet all members of the High Table, and I want to stand on the existing protocols. I am to give an overview of the project, but I'm very, very happy to be here, and I want to thank the very, very nice people of Benue State for their hospitality, and to also state that I was so impressed by the speech from our royal father. He emphasized the need for sustainable maintenance of this project, which is very key to us at the federal level. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the rehabilitation and upgrading of the Buruku Gboko water supply project is a critical water infrastructure designed to provide a reliable and sustainable water supply system to the people of Buruku, Gboko, and its environment in Benue State. The project is aimed at addressing the present needs for clean water, improve public health, and enhance overall quality of life of the residents. The main project objectives are as follows: to provide a reliable and sustainable water supply system to meet the growing demands of the populace, to improve access to clean water, reducing the incidence of waterborne diseases, as well as enhancing overall quality of life for the residents and promote economic growth and development. The project scope. The project scope comprises of the following: complete rehabilitation of water intake and treatment plants at Gboko, supply and installation of 3 numbers low flow and high flow lift pumps with motor powered rating 400 volts and 50 hertz, and discharge up to 380 to 440 meter cube per hour with associated control panels adaptable to solar power sources using ROSI hybrid 30 kilovolt inverters. Provision of solar powered systems of 540 watts with associated fittings and mounting structures to power the entire water facilities. Supply and installation of 2 numbers control panels with integrated controller rated 4 kilovolts maximum for Stera. Supply and installation of 2 number complete set of flocculator equipment, motor and accessories with complete electromechanical equipment. Complete rehabilitation of the existing 7-kilometer raw water transmission main and distribution pipeline network at Nkwa Hill. Furthermore, for Buruku water supply stations, we're going to also supply and install 150 meter cube per hour packaged water treatment plant with associated electromagnetic equipment at Buruku station. The supply and installation of 2 numbers submersible multi-stage low lift and high lift pumps, sets adaptable to solar power systems. Also, we're going to construct administrative buildings and other ancillary works. And of course, connect it to the national grid. And, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the project timeline is 18 months. I'm at this junction happy to invite the representative of the contractor to give a short assurance to the good people of Benue State that this that I've read out will be met according to the specification. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
The Honorable Minister, our royal fathers, and Your Excellencies, I wish to stand on the existing protocols. I wish to assure the community that my company, Ceylon Construction Services Limited, will execute this work in timely fashion, and we will abide by all the regulations and give a completed project within the time limit. I can assure everybody here that with the support the minister has given for this project, I am highly confident that we can deliver this project within the stipulated time. Thank you.
That is the representative of the contractor that has been given this project. I'll put hands together for the contractor, Dan Shana. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, the Executive Governor of Benue State, members of the Senate, House of Reps members that are here, the traditional rulers, the Totiv, I can be indulgent to invite a man that is going to do a dual job here. The man that wears two caps, the cap of the SGF, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, our leader, Senator Dr. George Akume, CON, here in the capacity and his own capacity of the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation. A former Commissioner of Water Resources in the state, former ED Lower Benue River Basin, former Rector Federal Polytechnic Wanune, now a Federal Minister, Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Engineer Telumu Otev. Can we put our hands together as he's coming to take over the microphone, please? The Honorable Minister of Water Resources is the young man that is going around the country to provide water. Nobody's enemy of water. We're all good friends of water. He's here with our powerful permanent secretary, Richard Filangwa is also here with our minister. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, the Governor of Benue State, here represented by the Deputy Governor of Benue State, my brother, Barrister Dr. Sam Ode, His Royal Majesty, the Totiv, my father, Professor Ochivili Otese Ayase, and the Tiv Traditional Council here present, the members of the Benue State Executive Council here present, my permanent secretary, Federal Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Mr. Richard Filangwa, Director Staff for the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation here present, the members of the Benue State House of Assembly here represented and under the leadership of our mother, Becky Oping, members of our party, the All Progressive Faithful, here present, our stakeholders, the Chairman, Senate Committee of Water Resources and Sanitation, Senator Yari, here represented by our own elder, Senator Memga Udende, Chairman House Committee, Right Honorable Sada Soli, here represented by our brother, Honorable Sekabzayo Tiom, all other members of the National Assembly here present, other members of the states, Benue State House of Assembly here present, our party faithful, the press, ladies and gentlemen. The purpose of us being here is for us to flag up the upgrade and rehabilitation of our Buruku Gboko water project. It's a project that was constructed many years ago that is not actually functioning at a point in time. And the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration look at it that it's very dimful that we rehabilitate it and put it to use for our people in the Renew Hope agenda and the promise that he made to the people of Nigeria. Our father, the leader of party in Benue State, and the leader of party in North Central Nigeria, Senator Dr. George Akume, sent me to send his apologies and appreciation to the people of Benue State for their word of encouragement, for their prayers, and is assuring them that he is continue to walk around the clock in making sure that the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's agenda, the people of Benue State, they are not put aside, but they enjoy the dividends of democracy. Today, under my leadership at the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, we are here to flag up this project. Once again, I want to appreciate the President. He makes life meaningful for Benue people. He's making life meaningful for Nigerians. Recently, I was in Maiduguri, where we flagged up the construction of different projects in Maiduguri. We're in Kano, we're in Ekiti, Ogun State, and several states in the country. And here in Benue too, there are many projects that in my ministry we have embarked upon, which this is one of them. The other one is the Boma Water Supply Scheme. We have the Wanuno Supply Scheme. And we also have the Otukpo Multipurpose Dam, which is in the budget approved by Mr. President, which we are also going to flag up for his rehabilitation. We are also going to work on the Oweto Dam and Bridge, which we are also going to do that among several projects that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a back in Benue and Nigeria at large. It's my honor to stand before you today to mark this special occasion of the groundbreaking ceremony of the rehabilitation and upgrade of the Buruku Gboko water supply project in Benue State. The water supply project is one of the critical initiatives aimed at providing clean and safe drinking water to the people of Buruku, Gboko, Ushongu, Taka, and extended to different environs. The project is a clear demonstration of government commitment to providing the lives of our citizens, which aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda of providing one of the most essential necessities of our people, the dear Nigeria as a country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Buruku Gboko Water Supplies Project was initiated, conceived as Gboko Yandev Water Supply System, now renamed as Rehabilitation and Upgrading of Gboko Water Supply Project, located approximately 70 to 90 kilometers southeast of Makurdi. The project was initiated by the then Plateau State government to address the insufficient water supply in the Gboko Yandev area in Benue State. Mrs. Airman International Consulting Engineers, Frankfurt, Main, Germany, was appointed to carry out the feasibility study and detailed engineering design for the Gboko Yandev water supply project. The rehabilitation and upgrade of Buruku Gboko water supply scheme in Benue State is aimed at resuscitating the vandalized existing waterworks at Ameladu, Nka in Gboko local government area, and Buruku water supply scheme in a bid to improve the lives of residents, estimated at about 506,000 people, through accessing potable water and reducing the risk of waterborne diseases. The extraction of water from the Kasnala River by the infrastructure at the stone of the river, which then shall be transported by a distance of about 17 kilometers for purification, treatment, distribution, and portable supply system to Gboko, Nka, Ushongu, Taka, and other neighboring communities. As we all know, the provision of potable water supply and sanitation is a responsibility of the three tiers of government. The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, is responsible for the overall policy framework, which involves the general coordination, monitoring and evaluation of water facilities and infrastructure. The ministry also supports the subnational through interventions, as demonstrated in this case, which is rehabilitation and upgrade of this facility. The federal government's intervention is meant to accelerate access to clean and potable water in the country towards meeting national and international set targets. It is meant to further create jobs, stimulate economic growth, and improve the overall quality of life for our citizens. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, bringing this project to final takeoff in Benue State today is a clear demonstration of the citizens-oriented leadership commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. The rehabilitation, upgrading of Gboko water supply project to Mercy Silon Construction Limited is estimated at the total contract sum of 18,893,279,411,042 kobo, only inclusive of all relevant taxes, with a completion period of 18 months. The component of works to be implemented in the course of execution of the project includes the completion and rehabilitation of tax, water intake and treatment plant at Gboko, supply and installation of 3 low and high lift pumps with motor power rating 400 volts and 550 Hz, with a discharge of a capacity of between 380 to 440 cubic meter per hour, with a head of 18 to 22 meters, with associated control panel adaptable to solar powered system of 540 watts, with associated fittings, mounting structures to power the water facilities, supply and installation of 2 numbers control panel with integrated VFD controller rated 4 kilowatts maximum for Shura's supply and installation of 2 numbers, complete set of flocculators equipment, motor and accessories with complete electromagnetic component, complete rehabilitation of existing 7 kilometers raw water transmission main and distribution pipeline network at Makodi Hill at the source of the river Kasnala. Other works to be executed at the Buruku is the supply and installation of 150 cubic meter hour packaged water treatment plant with associated electromagnetic equipment at Buruku Station, and supply and installation of 2 numbers submersible multi-stage low and high feed pumps set adaptable to solar power system and connecting pipe to overhead tank at the Buruku Station. Finally, I respectively express our deep appreciation to our leader, the father of the nation, His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Jesus Aro, for his leadership, his fatherly love for this country, for providing the enabling funds and opportunity for the execution of this long-awaited critical project. The people of Benue are highly overwhelmed with great joy today. I wish to essentially render my profound appreciation to the National Assembly, the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, our father, our leader, Senator Dr. George Akume, and all critical stakeholders who have supported this cause. I am sure that the reward of our labor will be in the successful delivery of this project. I enjoin the Benue State government to continue to provide the necessary support to the team of engineers and other experts that will be handling the project throughout the period of the contract execution, so as to achieve the overall objective of embarking on this project. Ladies and gentlemen, as I declare the groundbreaking and takeoff for the rehabilitation and upgrading of Buruku water supply scheme today, I urge you all to work towards delivering the project effectively and timely to achieve the value for effort, time, money committed to this project. We from the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation will continue under the mandate given to us by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is supply of safe and sufficient water to the people of Nigeria, boosting food production for the people of Nigeria, creating jobs, and making sanitation a priority. That is our goal. We call on the people of Benue State to support us, to pray for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to pray for Secretary to Government of the Federation as he support our President in driving this agenda, and to pray for your son, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Professor Joseph Telumunu, and all the many people of Benue State. I express my deep appreciation to my father, His Royal Majesty, Professor Ochivili Otesayate, for being here and for his fatherly love. The Chief Traditional Council, the Benue State Government, the Benue State Assembly members, the APC stakeholders, our party faithful, the media, for finding faith with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his Renew Hope agenda. Thank you all, and God bless us.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that was the voice of an engineer. If you give somebody that doesn't have any knowledge about this, it's not going to flow like this. And look at the way the young professor, engineer, our minister was flowing. Can we put our hands together for the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Engineer Telmu Ote, for that wonderful speech. And Your Excellencies, the Honorable Minister, the representative of the Senate Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation, the House of Reps member representing the House of Reps Committee Chairman on Water, the Right Honorable Sada Soli. As you go back to Abuja, the good people of Benue, the good people of Gboko, the good people of Buruku, the team HGF, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, has asked me to pass vote of confidence on our minister, vote of confidence on our son, the leader HGF, vote of confidence on our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Can we put our hands together for our President? The talk and do President. He is doing very well across the country. Can we put our hands very well so that the Honorable, the SGF and the President will hear in Abuja, please. Thank you and thank you. Your Excellencies, our Royal Father, the paramount Father of ours today, we crave your indulgence to invite the Executive Governor of Benue State here in the capacity of his Deputy Governor, His Excellency Barrister Samuel Ode MNI. The Governor is here with a special advisor to the Governor on Water Resources, who is my younger sister, Mrs. Usendo Nyankime. Is also here with the entourage of the Governor. Thank you, Your Excellency.
His Royal Majesty, the paramount ruler of the Tiv nation worldwide, my father, the chairman of the Benue Council of Traditional Rulers, His Royal Majesty, Professor James Yozua Utesi Ayase, Commander of the Order of the Niger, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency, Distinguished Senator George Akume, Commander of the Order of the Niger, here ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Telumu Utsev, very distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing Benue Northeast, Senator Emmanuel Udende, who is representing the Senate Committee Chairman, Water and Sanitation, distinguished Senator Yari, the Right Honorable Sekabi Otiom, who is the member representing Buruku Federal Constituency, and at this occasion representing the Chairman's House Committee on Water and Sanitation. Our other very distinguished traditional rulers, I can see the Gboko, His Royal Highness Gabriel Shosun, Te Buruku, Te Taka, Muete Buruku, and other traditional rulers here who are here with us. Very esteemed members of the Benue State House of Assembly, and you saw them here in their numbers when they were led by the Vandi Ujengba, Vandi Kwasu Ujengba, the Honorable Becky Opin, when they came to give Goodwill message. Our mother, the Honorable Mrs. Regina Akume, Her Excellency, who was represented here by the Senior Legislative Aide and gave Goodwill message. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, and the Director who just came to give us an overview of this project. Very distinguished Benue citizens who are here, and particularly the Jengba people, led by the APC leader in Jengba, Chief Beanyam Kume, Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources, Environment and Climate Change, Benue State Government, Special Advisor, Water Resources, who is also here with us. May I, at this point, stand on the existing protocol that has been well established by the Master of Ceremony earlier on today. The Governor of Benue State, whom I have the honor to represent at this event, has directed me to come here and give a goodwill message on behalf of the government of Benue State. Indeed, today is a wonderful day in the life of our state. He ought to have been here himself, but he's receiving a delegation of ambassadors from other countries who are in Makurdi at this moment. He says I should let us know at this event that he is very happy that the upgrading of this facility, which has been abandoned for decades, is becoming a reality under the administration of our leader, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief, distinguished Senator Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
We are very happy that Mr. President has turned his focus on Benue and is giving us the dividends of democracy in a manner that goes beyond even our expectations. This project is a monumental project, and for the President to award this contract, which is over 18 billion naira, underscores the importance that he attaches to the welfare and the well-being of the people of Benue State. As a state government, we promise that we will continue to collaborate with the federal government of Nigeria in the delivery of the much-needed dividends of democracy for the welfare and for the well-being of our people. It is a good thing that we should continue to unite as a people in the state so that we will continue to help our people and pull them out of poverty. This project belongs to us. The federal government is going to upgrade this facility, and like His Royal Majesty mentioned earlier, we are going to possess this project. We will protect it and we will sustain it for the benefit of our communities. So on this note, I want to thank everyone, all the stakeholders who have come together to make sure that today becomes a reality. As this project is going to be upgraded, I appeal to the youth of this community to make sure that they are at the vanguard of protecting this project. We don't want anyone to harass the contractors. Protect them and help them so that they can deliver this project on time. It is our determination that we deliver potable water to our people. As earlier mentioned by His Royal Majesty, the Totiv, our government is also doing her own part in the delivery of water to communities across the state. Just last week, we awarded a contract for the rehabilitation of the Katinala Water Works and also the Otukpo Water Works, which is located at Otobi. These contracts were in sum of about 1.5 billion naira. So we are asking that the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, should continue to partner with us as a state so that together we can deliver on the water needs of our people. I want to thank each and every one of you and pray that as you go back, God grants you journey mercies. Thank you, and God bless you all.
That was the voice of the Governor of Benue State in the capacity of his Deputy Governor, His Excellency by Samuel Ode MNI. Now, before we I will invite my colleague, please. As you rightly said before, we're running out of time, but we recognize part faithful that are here very well. I recognize the publisher and the stakeholder in our party, Akberishi, is also here all the way from Kwande. I recognize Dr. Carl Wakekwe. We recognize former Commissioner Duraundo. We recognize all the stakeholders in our party in Buruku, Gboko, Taka that are here. Our women leaders that are here, we recognize them. We recognize again our woman leader in our party in Benue State, Princess Awesito, former Commissioner of Agriculture, now woman leader. Matthew, you take over. Invite the Honorable Minister for the final signing of this.
All right, thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Absolutely, all our dignitaries that are here will recognize you. Absolutely. It is time to now invite the Honorable Minister of Water, Resources and Sanitation for the groundbreaking for site handover to the contractor for commencement of project execution. Ladies and gentlemen, as they come out, please put your hands together. Put your hands together for the Honorable Minister of Water, Resources and Sanitation, the son of the soil, the man that has distinguished himself in the field of academics and entrepreneurship, an astute engineer, an erudite professor of civil and water engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, he is coming to do the ground breaking for site handover and, of course, unveiling of the plaque. Put your hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Keep clapping. Keep clapping.
Please, some of you can stay behind.
I like it.
Sorry. Let me hand over this. Sorry, I want to see Chief.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I'll hand over the microphone to the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Professor Terumun Utiv, to commission the flag of this wonderful edifice.
Your Excellencies, the Royal Majesty, the Chief Traditional Council, APC Party Faithful, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Federal Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation welcome you to the official flag up the upgrade of Buruku Gboko water supply project in Ameladu Works, Benue State. Here being flagged up by Engineer Professor Joseph Telumun himself, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, on the 27th of March 2025 by the glory of God. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Please listen to this announcement, please. Listen to this announcement, please. Director Water Supply, you come here and sign something for us. Commissioner Water Resources, Benue State, will come and sign, and the contractor will come and sign this for us, please. You sit over there and sign it. Wait, hold on. Director will sign first, and then the Commissioner for Water Resources in Benue will sign, and then the contractor will sign. Honorable Minister wene ananyara kikuma milionu nyi ewayo njamatu. Dubu deruta ushakewi chairman wa APC Gboko. Dubu deruwa for Jengba Development Association. Security dubu deruwa Nubes 100,000. Kwa otoka ye tebiga. Hama kwa wewe chicha chichi na kwa wewe nyo milioni nyingi msone.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.
Every major news story is with Benue perspective and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time do you see news? First, with breaking news. Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Yobe State in northeast Nigeria has witnessed steady growth in many sectors in 3 decades of its creation. With a decade-long Boko Haram insurgency subsiding, the administration of Governor Mai Balabone is building on the progress recorded by past administration and executing new projects and programs to deepen development and the pride of the Sahel. Watch as Governor Buni consolidates the achievement of his administration on Impact Yobe. Impact Yobe. Saturdays 8:30 p.m. on TVC News.
The task of the leaders is to get their people from where they are to where they've not been. How do we hold our leaders accountable in the business of lawmaking and representation?
The mandate that you have given to us is not abuse in any way.
The primary purpose of government is to ensure the welfare and security of the Nigerian people.
Constituency project had noble intentions and they still remain the most veritable tool.
Do they really know their representatives at the states and national assemblies?
Our people, they don't have water, they are suffering. They only drink water from where rain fall.
For the current one, the 10th assembly, I don't really know who is in charge.
From the mountaintops to the deepest valleys, we're ready to go an extra mile just to show Nigerian your constituency projects. Know your representative with Maria, bridging the visible gap.
Maya Angelou was a civil rights activist, poet, and award-winning author known for her acclaimed 1969 memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and her numerous poetry and essay collections. Angelou was born on April 4, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri. Angelou had a difficult childhood. Her parents split up when she was very young. Around the 1960s, Angelou lived in Ghana working as an editor and a freelance writer. Angelou also held a position at the University of Ghana for a time before she joined a community of revolutionist returnees exploring Pan-Africanism and became close with human rights activist and black nationalist leader Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. In 1961, Angelou appeared in an off-Broadway production of Jean Genet's The Blacks with James L. Jones.
Hello there, and thank you so much. It's Thursday's edition of Your Business Nigeria. Now, these are the stories we are tracking for you at this time. Federal government working towards producing suitable land use act to attract investments. That's according to the Vice President. Debt Management Office announces 1.09 trillion naira sukuk proceeds since 2017. Stocks fall on all Trump's auto tariff. China resists trend. Well, as always, we'll start with the commodities market this afternoon. And dollars 32 cents, copper $523.30, platinum $975.83. For copper and platinum, we see them down today in red, 0.19% and 0.13% down. But for silver and gold, they are doing well in green, 0.68%, like I said earlier, and 0.29% positive. Well, let's see what the food stuff are looking like from corn, which is also in green for percentage points today, 0.17%, but it's going for $450.50 a ton. Wheat, $533.50. Cocoa, $8,044. Cotton, $65.64. And for cocoa, it's down 0.61%. Cotton up 0.06%. And corn is up 0.17%. Wheat is down 0.33%. Well, to the global market, of course, the back and forth with Trump's tariff policies is instilled today. He came up with another executive order with regards to imported cars into the United States, slamming tariffs on all of this, saying this will help grow the automobile industry in the United States. We've also seen in some cases where some European countries are already boycotting buying U.S. products. And this is really becoming so alarming because definitely it's going to have an effect on the entire market moving forward. But we're looking at all of this as it plays out, but it's hitting on the global market. As stocks fall on Trump's auto tariffs, China persists on trend. Global stocks fell today, led by heavy losses in Japan and South Korea, after U.S. President Donald Trump announced a new tariff in auto imports in the Euro stock futures, also pointing to a lower open. Now, Japan's Nikkei fell 0.1%, while South Korea Kospi is also down 1.3%. Toyota Motors shares stumbled 2.6%, and both Mazda and Subaru plunged about 6%. European stock market are set for a lower open, with Pan-European Stock 50 futures down 0.5%. All in red the first half of this chart. Chinese shares outperformed the region, with the blue chip index up 0.4%. Hong Kong Hang Seng rallied 1%. China's EVs giant BYD jumped 2.3%. Gain in Chinese shares helped by MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan to trade flat. Wall Street futures also recouped earlier losses and inched up 0.1%. Wall Street already ended sharply lower on expectations of such a move, with the tech-heavy Nasdaq slumping more than 2%. That's it here in red. Well, crude oil prices now, the market edged lower today as market weighed the impact of U.S. President Donald Trump's auto tariffs at a time when concerns swirled about global supply due to U.S. tariff, threats on buyers on Venezuelan oil, and sanctions on Iranian oil clients. Now, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 0.33% to sell for $69.40 42 cents a barrel with a downward review of 0.33%. Same with Brent crude is also down 0.33% to sell for $73.55 this afternoon. Bonny Light is down 2.84%, selling at $78.62 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket is the only market trading in green this afternoon, and is selling for $75.74, and that's up 0.84%. That's it for market analysis. Now, before we get to our first discussion today, let's bring you this report that the federal government has put on hold the implementation of the annual dues for public interest entities under the Financial Reporting Council Amendments Act of 2023. During a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment announced the formation of a technical working committee to review the concerns raised by the private sector and propose solutions that aligns with Nigeria's economic interests. Helen Osamide-Akins has that report.
In 2023, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria amended its acts, introducing significant changes regarding annual dues for public interest entities. The amendment expanded the definition of PIEs to include various private companies, concession entities, and private entities. However, these changes have sparked concerns among stakeholders who argue that the new dues may amount to double taxation and could negatively impact business operations. In response to these concerns, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment engaged with the stakeholders to address their grievances.
The provisions of the law, people are to file their returns within 120 days of the end of their business year. A lot of our members have 31st of December as their end of financial year. What that then means is that between then and April, the 120 days will count. If they are not filing their returns within those days and making these payments, this due payment, they will be in an infraction.
This bill on gross should be avoided. Even when you borrow money, it's part of your gross. No bank will fund any project in Nigeria if they know that the money they are giving you is going to go to the taxman.
Following these discussions, the minister announced that the implementation of the annual dues will be put on hold as a technical committee will be set up to review the concerns raised by the private sector and propose solutions that best fit the country.
The private sector have asked from a range of 2 to 3 months to a range of indefinite suspension. We're not going to do that. So between at the most 60 days, we're going to set up a technical working group. And Mr. President had been briefed ahead, and he said, you know, we're a listening government and we want private sector to be comfortable. We want the economy to thrive. So this is what we're going to do, empirical work to come up with the best fit for Nigeria. We've already looked at global best practices on each side, and we come up with the best fit for Nigeria. We make the proposition, and then, of course, we have to go back to Parliament.
By engaging stakeholders and reassessing the policy, the government aims to ensure that financial regulations support economic growth rather than hinder it. The minister assured the attendees that the timeline for the pause and subsequent actions will be communicated promptly. Helen Osamide-Akins, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, a lot of developments in that meeting, and joining me to discuss the fallout and those developments is Mr. Paul Alaje. He's a partner and senior economist, SPM Professionals. He joins me live from our Abuja studios to continue this conversation. Mr. Alaje, good afternoon, and thank you so very much for joining me on this very important discussion.
Yeah, thank you so very much for having me. A beautiful afternoon to you.
Thank you. I think it's great for us to start this conversation around the role of the private sector in all of this. We've seen this back and forth with regards to this tariff from the FRCN saying it's a law and all of that. At the same time, we talk about how we can empower, enable some of these businesses to thrive. Now, what is your understanding of this law and how it affects the private sector? Maybe we started on that note.
Okay, well, the understanding I have about this law has to do with the annual due private sector are to pay to the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRCN, which is, of course, on an annual basis. The law was recently reviewed in 2023, and the FRCN have actually started implementing. The concerns here, they are majorly two among so many other things that the private sector, and when I say private sector, I will just use two of the organized private sector bodies. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and NECA. That's, I think, National Nigerian Employer Consultative Forum. Two, among others, have their concerns. And when we look at the issues, we see that they have genuine case in this matter. First is the suspension, 25 million naira or 0.002% of the value of quoted company, which is to be paid as a penalty. Again, the price has also been significantly increased. So if payment is not made, the council is looking at a 10%, I beg your pardon, as penalty. Meanwhile, they have to pay 25 million as annual due or 0.002%, whichever is lower. Now, the position of Manufacturers Association and NECA will be, if this money is paid, it's going to, of course, have tremendous implication on other obligations and even help, and we also have challenge in our potential to stock. So here is it. What exactly has changed in the responsibility and the role that a Financial Reporting Council is delivering to us? Is it the money that will make them perform their role in terms of registration, regulation, and all those? Is it more money that will help them? Or this payment, is it coming as a further pain to them? Is it that they gave them access to land and the value of land has increased? Or what exactly can we tie this payment to? Now, Nigeria is not the only country where this is done. There are global best practices across board. But in looking at this, we need to look at the denominator of what Nigeria is going through even this moment today. And it's not starting now. Over the years, the Nigerian economy has been going through an interesting phase. Perhaps this is why many manufacturers, especially medium-scale manufacturers, and you have them in large numbers, very few of them are in large scale. Apart from those that are manufacturing, those that are even in service sector, we have a lot of medium scale compared to very few large scale organizations that we have. So it's important, yes, we've passed it into law. And again, this is where I have my concern in having executive orders and also having bills passed into law without having a robust private sector conversation. Look at the, what do we call it now? The tax bill that is currently before the National Assembly. I think that would be the largest number. I mean, that has the largest input from perhaps all stakeholders. Everybody got to know. We know what government is saying. And maybe because of the embodiment of the person that led the team. And I'm not surprised that that committee, Presidential Task Force, will be part of the committee the minister have announced, which of course include Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, the organized private sector, as well as member of that Presidential Tax Committee to join in coming up with what will be the better recommendation. This is very important for us to look at because when companies are discouraged from being quoted, it also has to do with the limited number of companies that is listed in Nigeria. And that's, to a large extent, it's one of the measures of wealth, of corporate wealth in the country. So it's not just to have several companies listed, hundreds of thousands of companies that we have in Nigeria registered with Corporate Affairs Commission. Many of them will never leave paper state. But those that have left and are now quoted, I think it's important for us to see a way to find a win-win for both the private sector and also the regulators in this instance.
Interesting breakdown, I must say, Mr. Paul Alaje, as always. But let's talk about the challenges that manufacturers, NECA members have faced in recent times. There was a FOB levy that was to be instituted by the Customs Service. There was also another levy, sometime 15%, I think, from the NPA, and they had to grapple with all of this, and now this is coming. My question to you really would be, how do we balance revenue-generating agencies of government and the ease of doing business initiative of government? How do we put this side by side?
I think what we need to do is to expand tax bracket right now, and if you like, charge brackets. Those that are paying, we might need to stay with possible payment other than rates that the market already indicates that the market has capacity to pay. Yeah. To increase without the capacity of market to pay, then we are doing ourselves a lot of disservice. For somebody who play in that sector, I'll tell you that how you measure it is you look at what operators are saying. For instance, if you have 5 players within a sector and 3 or 4 are willing to pay and one is resisting, definitely the market is willing. But when you have mostly all organized private sector saying we do not have the capacity to pay, not just one saying this to one regulators, you see what has happened to MPA and so on and so forth. So on MPA, you have seen custom. I remember the last time I was here, we spoke about possible increase in custom rates. And I've said that most of these rates will happen. Why? We have increased the target in our budget. We have increased the target to ×2. Where do you think these persons will generate this money? They will generate it anyhow. They will generate it from private sector, from individuals and from businesses. So it is the pressure that we are seeing now. So in doing this, what do we need to do? We need to build more wealth as a nation so that new people that perhaps were not paying or they are starting their business, they can then come and we make more revenue. So those who are working in representing government, agencies of government, this is where we all have that assignment to find new markets, to find new business, without necessarily astronomically increasing rates, so that people that are with us already, we can get the same revenue because, of course, there's some level of structure. But for those that are new, we can also introduce some of the charges, then make sure that the business of government does not suffer. But most importantly, when private sector has major setback, then government, of course, will definitely be affected. And this is the balance we need to have. In this case, from what I've read and see, because I followed the reports, organized private sector is not saying we will not pay. They are saying, yes, we are paying, is an obligation, but the rates are not what we can accommodate in our book, except we face a shutdown point right now.
Now that there's been a 60-day pause, a technical committee has been set up, and maybe there will be a review, maybe there would not be, because of course they're saying it's a law, and even the lawmakers are going to have an input in this one way or the other if there's going to be any review. Do you see, what is your outlook with regards to this?
Well, private sector is very critical sector.
Yeah,
in economics, you have different economic sector. I'm here. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I am. Go ahead, please.
Private sector has three sectors. I mean, in economics, there are several economic sectors, but broadly, but narrowly speaking, I will speak to household, firm, and government. When you look at household, where, of course, the household will work in firm. So you look at this sector of firm, interacting with government is very, very important. So if government says that, no, this is what we must achieve this moment today, then it may have implications again on business. And when businesses are no more, then definitely it will be difficult for government to raise taxes. If you look at national income computation, you know that it is from that gains from investment that we raise taxes of government, and also from individual persons that government raise taxes. So to a large extent, it's important for government. By government, I mean the Reporting Council of Nigeria, the Federal Reporting Council of Nigeria. We need to look at it. Yes, it's a law, but I think laws can be amended. I strongly believe it can be amended. And I know that I'm happy the minister mentioned that the president has already been briefed. When the president looked at the numbers for himself, I'm sure that this review will be achieved. Do I think that this will get to National Assembly? I think that's the right place where this needs to go. Do I think National Assembly needs to give this all the importance and the urgency that it requires? Yes. And I also think that if we need to extend this period, it might be important for us to extend it up until the time there is a balance for both private sector as well as the government. And where will that balance be? 25 million naira on each quoted company, it's a far cry from what the reality dictates today. And it's not just about reality dictating it today from what is obtainable today. Do we think that private sector should evade this payment? The answer is no. We strongly believe that payments should be made, but we should accommodate the reality and the books and the hits that the economy has been faced, perhaps in the last, say, charitably speaking, 10 years. Because consistently, we have been seeing the private sector performance, not thanks to global pressure. We also saw what happened during COVID, which has, of course, had tremendous impact on the entire economy. We also saw what happened when the Russia-Ukraine war started, and the impact, especially on private sector in Nigeria. We saw the price of diesel which was one of the major inputs, surged sporadically. We also saw what inflation has done to our economy in the last 10 years, that has grown from about 12% to about 34% up until the time methodology was adjusted to give us 24 to 23, 22% that we are currently seeing. So to a large extent, to a very large extent, I must say that it's important for us to take a careful look at taking decision so that we can have a meaningful balance where both the private sector and government know that we are both going concern and we would keep existing as entities to make the overall economy perform well.
Finally, the argument of being a listening government also comes in now. Everyone says, yeah, the government is a listening government, listening to the yearnings of the private sector players and all of that. Moving forward, we are still expecting implementation of the tax reforms after it's passed into law and all of this. But do you still see the private sector still taking a big chunk of all of this support and payments and all of that to government coffers, particularly as we race to meet the revenue aspect of our 2025 budget?
Well, you recall that I had conversation with you on the tax reform, and I told you that I give tax reform a minimum of 6, a maximum of 7. To a large extent, I supported some of the items in tax reform, and the ones I did not support, I made it known to those that are lawmakers, and I'm particularly happy with the report that I saw that the House of Representatives, what was passed by the House, it reflects almost 85 to 90% of our position in our organization. It reflects it to a large extent. One, VAT should not. We have consistently maintained that VAT should not be increased because of its implication on the overall economy and its possibility to induce inflation. We are happy that the House of Representatives used that 100%. We've also made so many other recommendations. So all of this is to protect private sector, to ensure that we do not have private sector, disappear, and all of us do not just do 100% government. That handshake between private sector and government must happen. Then, as the government listen, I think so, because the private sector came up with a proposal of suspension, minimum of 3 months and maximum of indefinite suspension. But the government said we are going to suspend for 2 months, about 60 days. So that is listening right there. Yes, it might be in the first instance because we don't know what the second instance may be. So it's important for us to say, yes, government might have not done what we expect as organized private sector, but what we have seen that government have done is also from no suspension at all to some kind of 60-day suspension on this levy until the pending issues are resolved. And I strongly believe that when these issues are set up by the committee, is a straightforward thing. Very quickly, the committee comes up with their responses, and at the end of the day, we can have this go into the National Assembly, which I believe the National Assembly understands the importance of these on the private sector, and we can have a way forward. And as of that time, I think that suspension could be lifted, because it's important we correct, because there will be no basis for reduction. If you ask the National Reporting Council to now charge 5 million or 10 million, they'll say, well, the law does not say we should. So, and the presidential order cannot cancel a bill. So it's important for that to go to National Assembly before that can be cancelled. But up until that, I don't think 25 million or 0.002% of the quoted amount, whatever is listed, should be paid. As also defined, 10% of the amount, I also don't think it should be paid until we have resolved these issues. Because at the end of the day, Nigeria is ours, and it's important for us to look at the issues critically for the benefit of our people, for the greatness of our nation, and of the upliftment and our development as a nation.
Mr. Paul Alaje, partner, senior economist, SPM Professionals, thank you so very much for sharing your afternoon with us. We really appreciate this. Stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, interesting conversation as always. We'll stay with this story with FRC, and we'll follow it up tomorrow. We are still going to have a discussion around it, what the law means, what the law stipulates, and how it affects all sectors of Nigeria's economy. So stay with us. We're going to keep a tab on this very important topic of discourse. But still to come on the show today, we'll shift our focus to looking at prospects of Nigeria's agricultural sector. There's a lot around this segment, the sector at this moment, a lot of of moves by government, private sector support. But I have a food security expert in the studio, African farmer Mogaji. After this break, we'll get to talk. Don't go away. This is Business Nigeria.
In a world that's always evolving, one name has always been a constant: United Bank for Africa. 75 years of championing dreams, breaking barriers, and igniting change across the continent and beyond. From our roots in Lagos to the global stage, UBA is Africa's heartbeat, connecting cultures, empowering futures, and driving progress. We're more than just a bank. We are a partner in your journey, a supporter of your dreams, and a builder of a brighter tomorrow. Every interaction with UBA is a step towards a future where possibilities are limitless and dreams are realized. United Bank for Africa, where ambitions find a home, and together we shape a better world. United Bank for Africa. One brand, global influence. United Bank for Africa, Africa's global bank.
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stuff.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to Journalists Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 1:30 p.m.
All right, glad to have you back. The African Development Bank Group, that's Abdul Kamara, Director General of the AFDB's Nigeria's country department, made this known recently, talking about more investments for Nigeria. It was in a meeting with Mr. Wale Edun where he said they would deepen collaboration in key sectors. Kamara's announcement of Nigeria's new strategy paper for the agricultural space reaffirms the AFDB's commitment to transformative projects in Nigeria. This includes the second phase of the National Agriculture Progress in the special agro-industrial processing zones, with advancement in Sokoto and planned expansion in Cross River and Kaduna states. Well, a lot of development, a lot of moves across the board for Nigeria's agricultural sector. But really, where are we? Aside the strategy paper, aside all of this, where really are we? African Farmer Mogaji is live in the studio. Thank you so much. It's good to see you this afternoon.
Thank you for having me in your new studio on your program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Well, I think already you were smiling during my introduction that we've come again with all our partnerships and all of the supports that we've been getting from international agencies. But of course, we need the supports and all of it. What do you make of the effort so far? I think we should do an overview. We had you discuss when we started the food security thing and all of it. Where are we with regards to all of these moves by the federal government?
Well, we are far way forward from where we started from. You know, my last two appearances with you, I was really concerned, analyzing the challenges. You know, we were more fairly stagnated. But right now, we can see quite a lot of progress from strategy to the table. A lot of things are beginning to work from strategy to table. In terms of, you know, food prices, beyond food prices, inputs, the 2.1 million bags of fertilizers that the president gave out actually is one of the reasons why we have food prices lower right now. Without that, we would have been in a different ball game. So bottom line, at the helm of affairs, having people in the right places. So yes, we're not where we should be, but we're way ahead of where we were last year and early part of this year. So I'm optimistic.
That's a good one. Now, when we see supports like this unveiling of a new strategy paper for Nigeria's agricultural sector, yesterday we're talking about a paper too on, I think, the power sector. I said Nigeria is not short of documents or paper, you know, but the fact is, how well do we implement all of this to the latter? How does it put food on my table? That is what I'm interested in.
Good. So I can positively tell you, based on my interactions, and you know I always speak the facts.
Yes.
I can say to you, you know, I'm always concerned about those papers, but right now, things are moving forward. Things are getting better. Now the rubber is meeting the road. The strategy papers will take effect, they talk about it, but right now we're being able to be cascaded down to reality. So, and more than ever, I would say we're getting more private sector engaged. You know, it's the engagement, not the involvement. Engaging, okay, this is the paper brought from AFDB. It needs local hands, okay? And so in the ministry and practitioners, we're seeing a more open ministry of agriculture and that is engaging quite a lot of professionals, including myself. You know, basically, you know, there's nothing bad in asking questions.
Honestly.
And right now, I'm excited and happy, and it's looking like people are saying it looks like you're beginning to talk for government. I'm beginning to talk for progress, not for government. Government is implementing things that is giving us progress. The things we've been shouting about in 10 years, I am seeing it, and a few other colleagues are seeing it. So you are either looking at the glass half full or half empty, but I can tell you it's half full, because anything you raise right now gets attention and is looked into. And that's what the collaboration between government and private sector is looking like. I'm not saying we're way where we should be, but we're on the right track.
You know, we always have this conversation about all year round farming and all of that. Yeah, then I saw the last inflation figures, I was a bit impressed. At least food inflation for some time now, we've seen a bit of decline in the figures that we see, but not where we are supposed to be, obviously. But that thing about all year round farming, what are those things to be put in place? Are we looking towards that direction so that we are sure of prices being stable for a particular period of time?
So let me, I'm happy now to share progress reports. Progress reports in sense that last year, in previous years, we don't start dry season farming early. And I speak to this, permit me to call myself an authority, 3 decades of irrigation farming, it's not joke. And I can say last year, dry season farming started early. Okay. There's been another support again this year. So we are producing more than previous years, and that is what is influencing the prices. It could have been bad, okay? But if we're going to do all year round farming, you must, be able to drag the belt of the governors. The governors need to pull their weight, especially the southern part of the country. They need to pull their weight. They have rivers lying fallow. They have dams that are lying fallow. They have reservoirs lying fallow. They have farmers who can do the job. They have citizens who are hungry. We need to harness the resources we have. There's a lot of pull and a lot of progress at federal without complementary efforts from the government, which is state and local government. There will always be that break, but we're moving forward. However, you see, dry season farming is ideally for private sector, not even for government. We're supposed to ride on the platform of government. Right now, I would say this, and I say it boldly, the private sector and I use the word seem so that I won't be so much criticized. The private sector seem to be trapped in Nigeria's past. A lot of progress has happened and is happening, but we are still talking about the past instead of what should be done. We're not focusing on what has been done and what is being done. We're still looking at the past. So bottom line is that if we're going to harness all year round farming, we need the private sector to wake up. We need the state governments and local governments to wake up, and we need to do more with the youths, because all year round farming it's a tedious job.
And I'm going to ask you, are we preparing the youths? Are we making farming so attractive for the youths to really come in? I was going to really ask that question because you've been in this for years. We need to start having the younger ones come in. How attractive is Nigeria's agricultural sector? What are those things we could do to make it get as attractive as it should be? Everyone should want to get into agriculture.
Yes, speaking the language of the youth is very important. We need to improve on that. I would say this, about 2 weeks ago, the Minister of Agriculture did give me access to the colleges of agriculture and research institutes.
Okay.
I'm a product of one of the colleges, 2 of the colleges of agriculture, to say we need to begin to produce food. And last year, I recall also the minister and the past minister of education did have a conversation about growing foods in the universities, the polytechnics, colleges of agriculture, because they have space. And I believe that conversation should still be on the table. But bottom line, at the federal colleges of, you see, there's a difference between colleges of agriculture, federal colleges, and the universities. The federal colleges are trained on 2 years. At the end of 2 years, you're supposed to, you are trained to start. By year 1, in any of the colleges of agriculture, you are trained to start and finish 10 crops. Year 2, you are taking care of 7 livestock. So you've done this practical so you can go into it. So we also need a lot of support for the youth. I'm excited about the recapitalization of Bank of Agriculture.
Yeah.
I'm also very excited about the development fund, Nigeria Agricultural Development Fund. Those funds are designed to unlock for the youth. And I would be happy to see it really unlocked very fast, because this year, because of climate change, you know, if we don't unlock funding fast, and if we don't engage the youths, especially at the colleges of agriculture, we may have a challenge, because the heat, if you check the heat in this year, is really high, and as it's moving away from southwest, is gravitating towards the north. That means it will affect vegetables, peppers, tomatoes, but the youths are the people we can quickly push in there, and I hope that will be done very, very fast.
Let's talk about land. I'm interested in that. Today, I had a report on the news. The Vice President is saying the federal government is working to establish sustainable land administration system in the country. Without lands, we can't farm. I saw the Edo State Governor too yesterday, I think, in one of the reports, giving hectares of land, I think, for agriculture, for farming, for food security and all of that. Where are we also? Are we getting that handshake from the federal government, state governments? Well, the state governments own the lands, I think.
Yes.
So how well are they in sync with promoting food security across the board?
I can count the states that are serious as the federal government with just one hand. I can count it, you know. And I always say this: Lagos is doing far better in terms of infrastructure, in terms of support of farmers. This year, Lagos State, for a whole month, has been giving out impulse to farmers. You know, so if all states begin to do that before the planting season, it ensures that people start early. Okay, so bottom line is that there's still a lot of lip service at state level. You know, everybody should be assessed based on capacity, not what they are doing. Based on capacity, like Niger now, Niger is doing phenomenally well based on capacity. So we need Ogun and Oyo need to up the game for Nigeria's food security, you know, because regions differ, seasons differ. When the season is moving out of the core northern production for vegetables, it moves down south. But down south for 3 decades, I will tell you that, 3 decades have not upped the game. Okay, so South, Oyo, Ogun needs to up the game. There's nothing wrong in Oyo and Ogun also shipping tomatoes to the other parts of the country when there is shortfall of production. This is a lot of monies that can be made. We can, you know, and we're not looking at the value chain. There's a lot of empowerment happening, small, when you look at capacity. When you look at cleared lands, Oyo and Ogun has the highest cleared lands in the southwest. And so very soon, the prices of food will go up again because we're about to go into the rainy season, which is something that, you know, is normal. It's the off season. But being proactive to be able to take care of that, the Oyo and Ogun state governments have the lands. It will be good, you know, for us to see progress, for us to eliminate conversations around there's no tomatoes May, June, July, there's no peppers May, June, July, when you are at an advantage. So bottom line is that there are lands. I can beat my chest to tell you there are lands. There are government lands at federal and state and local government. As I sit with you on this table, I can unlock 200 hectares in 48 hours, belonging to governments in various communities, but they are rural communities.
But can all of this come in form of partnerships and all of that? You know, they might not want you to take over their land in totality. Do that also happen in the agricultural space where you could farm, okay, you're giving us so percentage and there's an agreement or some? Because, you know, it's not always easy to let go of lands.
Do you know? You see, in this country, Nigeria, with my exposure and experience, government over the years, I'm talking about 20, 30 years, already have done so much that we've not maximized. The 200 hectare I'm talking about is federal government land.
Wow.
Not even private land that we rent. Even in Ogun State, there's a 350 acre clear, just one tree on that land right now as we speak. And they are renting it out for 20,000 for 2.5 acres, 15 plots of land. So it's not that it's not affordable, it's not that it's not available, but are we harnessing it? Are we listening to the professionals? Are we listening to the community? So bottom line is coming up with programs where you bring in the input, they collaborate. That's what we do with the farmers. There's no point going to one village and start sitting down there when consultancy prices is really looking robust and good. So we need programs of collaboration. Collaboration is the next sustainability for Nigeria's food security. Collaboration.
Very important. Before we go, FGI's $1 billion agric investment in 500,000 jobs by 2027. When we see all of these projections and outlooks, you're a player, and I'd like us to wrap this up with your projections and outlook for the entire sector. What do you think? If things are done regularly as they should be done, business as usual, you know, it's always in a two-way thing. If it's business as usual and we keep doing things the same way, there might not be more changes. But if things are done better, the way they should be done, what should be the outlook, particularly as how it affects inflation moving forward?
So I am still, and I use the word still optimistic. Why am I still optimistic? Because government at Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is still listening and open and embracing private sector. That collaboration is increasing right now. You know, my data is always not on the good side all the time, but right now my data is looking like if we continue with what we're doing and push further, those numbers are small. When you look at the agri value chain, those numbers are small.
Wow.
Those numbers are small, they are real, they are achievable with the will of government and the commitment of the private sector. Those numbers are real. Insecurity has reduced. I didn't say it has vanished. It has reduced. A lot of things are happening. Some major rural roads are getting better. Okay, so bottom line is that if BOA opens up the vault with the 1.5 billion funding and they target 70% SMEs and small scale, 70, not the commercial, then we'll be able to achieve these numbers if we also now add cottage processing, because cottage processing ensures that we make more money, creates more opportunities. You know, let me wrap up with this. Okay. So there's this exhibition that has taken care for 10 years. Now, I'm just coming from there. But guess what? While we were talking, they've paid for the venue for 2027.
Wow.
Not even 2026. Wow. They are seeing something.
Wow. Something is.
They're seeing something. And it excites me, okay? Foreigners are obsessed with Nigeria's future. Nigerians are trapped in Nigeria's past. We need to be obsessed with a bright future. And things are happening that we need to just focus on your focus. Leave politics, okay? Focus on agri. Focus on your focus, and that's what we're going to be doing. A few of us have decided that we will pull out more, we will talk more, we will encourage the youths more, we will encourage more. Because the more you show what is happening and what is available, the more the private sector can come in. there is money on the table that the private sector is currently not picking. There are dams and irrigation facilities as much as 40,000 naira for the infrastructure that will cost about 200-300 million that you rent. So there's a lot of things that we need to harness more, though government is not speaking out more. The Ministry of Agriculture needs to speak out more. Yeah. Ministry of Water Resources needs to speak out more. True. You know, the Vice President's office needs to speak out more. True. We need to hear more. You know, the more we are able to project opportunities, the better for everybody, and those numbers will become real for us and will be food secure in record time.
Africa Farmer Mogaji, always a pleasure talking to you about the agricultural sector, and thank you so much for making it on the show today. We appreciate you after your speech in that very big event. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having interesting conversation as always. Africa Farmer Mogaji there for you. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, and you too.
All right then, well, it's time to switch from agriculture to stock markets. Well, the Nigerian exchange is closing negative today. An investment banker, stockbroker, Mr. Tajuddin Olayinka, is standing by for me. Mr. Olayinka, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining the program. Hello, Mr. Olayinka, can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Yes, I can hear you. It's my pleasure.
Great stuff. The market has been, we started this week a bit of green, but from yesterday, we've seen a change. I was impressed with the performance, particularly of UBA earlier this week. And I also see, I think Zenith Bank is out with their figures. These financial institutions are doing pretty well. What is your take with regards to the performance and this negative close today?
Okay, yes. If you judge by the performance of the companies, those companies, particularly the ones you mentioned, have actually done well. And market itself ordinarily should have actually reacted positively to those, to those results. I mean, if you go by the result from UBA, that is something that I will call an unusual performance from that bank. I mean, from that group itself. And of course, if you go by what happened today, I mean, when the result of Zenith Bank was released, it was also a super performance. In fact, Zenith Bank is something that I'm still wondering how they were able to attain that feat. Having just issued new set of shares, and those shares allotted, to those new shareholders that participated in their, new capital raising. And so with that, Zenith Bank is still paying dividend on those newly issued shares. And you see market reacting negatively. That is something I would describe as mispricing or misjudgment of investors. Sometimes investors, take some decisions that you cannot really rationalize within the context of what will be happening in a market like this. Now let's look at it this way. The earnings per share for Zenith is 32 naira 7 kobo, and dividend per share is just, I mean, for the whole year is 5 naira, even though they are paying 4 naira now. I think what I see there is that some investors are not so pleased with the dividend that has been declared, believing that Zenith having earned as much as 32 naira 7 kobo should have been able to declare more than 5 naira in all for 2024 financial year. But I will think that dividend is not everything. When companies declare dividends, you also have their retaining earnings that that still remain there for you to earn in future, or for you to play around with in future, which the company can still give back to you. So in pricing those securities, I keep saying, what you are trading, when you trade equity, we are trading earnings and earnings prospect. And when you are trading earnings prospect, you do not just judge the performance of the company with just dividends that have been declared, because the rest is there for you, which you can earn in future. And when you are pricing it, you also have to factor in, the earnings, I mean, the retained earnings and the earnings prospect. So that is why I said sometimes we call it misjudgment by some of these investors, especially those who are not so savvy. And that was what we saw. We saw the kind of a reaction from other investors who are picking it, who are actually buying them out. Some bought them out, and while they were able to pick as much as possible today for Zenith and even for UBA as well. So it's sometimes you see market is just surrounded by some kind of irrationality, and at that moment you see some investors who understand the market taking advantage of that and buying and buying of them. So that was what happened in the market today. I think it's just that some investors were displeased with the dividends so declared, not minding that there is something still left behind for them in the retained earnings. How can they be trading at be trading at PE ratio of less than 2? I mean that in less than 2 years, the company, the investors can get back their money by way of earnings. If it's trading below, PE ratio of 2 or trading at 68.55% earnings yield, this is unbelievable. I'm actually displeased with sometimes the behavior of some of these not so savvy traders.
Well, indeed. Before I let you go, we see that DMO has crossed 1 trillion naira in Sukuk bond issuance as demand continues to swell. How would you also react to this?
For me, I think that taking from the market, DMO taking 1 trillion from the market is something that has to do with the fact that they just want to increase the supply of government security to the market. Well, they are doing so because they are mindful of the fact that there could be a reversal of inflows from foreign portfolio investors. And I think they still have to exercise caution. It's a good development for them. It shows that market has the capacity to absorb as much as what DMO or federal government is able to put to the market. But taking that much, they also have to be very careful because of the fact that we are having a mountain of debt already before us, and which should be a challenge of the future. That is also partly responsible for some of this behavior you see in the equity market, where investors are just wondering, are we going to be in this high yield environment for a long time? If you are going to be there, then to what extent do I continue to price this equity securities? But I tell you, with the kind of earnings yield that we are getting from some of these companies, some of these banks, I don't think anybody should be mispricing some of these equity stocks. So that's the way I look at it. But for DMO, it's a fantastic offer. They've done well, but again, they have to exercise caution because mountain of debt is something that you have to be very careful of.
Interesting conversation, as always. Investment banker and stockbroker, Mr. Tajuddin Lainka, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
The UK's finance minister has confirmed that the country will not escalate the ongoing trade dispute with the United States and is actively working with Washington to secure an exemption from tariffs. Finance minister highlights that the UK government is engaged in extensive discussions with the US officials to assess the potential impact of tariffs. This follows recent talks between UK's Prime Minister and US President during the Prime Minister's visit to Washington. The UK is now continuing these high-level negotiations to safeguard trade relations between the two nations. Both countries are hopeful of avoiding tariffs as they continue to report trade surpluses in goods and services with each other.
We are in extensive talks at the moment between us and our counterparts in the US. Let's see where they get to in the next week. It is a big week ahead, but we'll continue to make that case, both with the US and with other countries that we're looking to secure trade deals with, like India and the Gulf countries, but also our nearest neighbours and trading partners in the EU. Trade wars are no good for anyone. It will end up with higher prices for consumers, pushing up inflation after we've worked so hard to get a grip of inflation, and at the same time will make it harder for British companies to export. So look, we are looking to secure a better trading relationship with the United States. I recognise that the week ahead is important. There are further talks going on today, so let's see where we get to in the next few days.
And the trade conflict between Trump's administration and the European Union is intensifying, fueling a rise in economic nationalism across Europe. Recent U.S. threats towards Greenland and Canada have prompted a boycott of American goods in Canada, Denmark, and several other European nations. However, Germany has taken a different approach, resisting calls to join the boycott despite ongoing tariff disputes. The German government also expressed its desire to maintain strong trade relations with the United States. Meanwhile, the European Union says it is working to de-escalate tensions with the U.S. in a bid to avoid a full-scale trade war. Well, that's our show today. Thank you so much for being a part of
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amaka Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. Unlabeled to believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and governments to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
To learn to speak to situations, but that is the way of dominion. You speak to your documents, you speak to your body, you call your organ well. Speak over your business, speak over opportunities that come your way. Accepting your height, accepting your color. They even like your wife, and then you want to prosper. 5 loaves of bread will not multiply with murmuring and complaining. Abraham and Lot, that was the game. Lot misbehaved. Abraham carried 318 soldiers to rescue him. At the end of the day, it was Lot that destroyed himself. Overcome evil with good.
Winning in life brings you undiluted and practical teachings on how to achieve success and gain wisdom in every aspect of life.
Let there be healing where it's needed. Let there be wisdom to make better decisions where it's needed. Let there be supplies of finances where it's needed. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Showing on TVC News, DSTV channel 418, every Sunday at 9 a.m.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and thank you for joining us on World Now. I am Aboseti Adeniran Aderemi. We begin here in Africa, specifically South Sudan, where the first Vice President Riek Machar, a long-time rival of the country's President Salva Kiir, has been placed under house arrest. This is according to his party, the Sudan People's Liberation Movement, in opposition. An armed convoy led by top security officials, including the defense minister, allegedly stormed Vice President Machar's residence in the South Sudanese capital, Juba, and disarmed his bodyguards. Both leaders agreed in August 2018 to end a 5-year civil war that killed about 400,000 people. But over the last 7 years, the relationship between them has become increasingly strained amid sporadic violence. The UN has been warning that South Sudan is on the brink of a return to civil war following an escalation of conflict between the president and the vice president that has been expanding for weeks. Now, in Zimbabwe, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has appointed the country's army chief as sports minister. A statement from the presidency says the army chief, Anselm Sanyatwe, has been retired and reassigned to head the sports ministry. Mr. Sanyatwe's removal as army chief comes at a time of increased political lobbying ahead of Zimbabwe's general election set for 2028. Analysts say President Mnangagwa appears to be acting to shield himself from a potential mutiny. He recently reshuffled the heads of police and intelligence service. Niger's military ruler has been sworn in as the country's president for a transitional 5-year term, which the country's new leadership charter says is flexible, depending on the country's security status. The new charter replaces the West African country's constitution. General Chiani became Niger's leader after deposing the country's elected. We're still in Africa, where Sudan's army has taken over the country's capital, Khartoum, after fierce armed conflicts with rebel forces. Sudan's military leader, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, visited the presidential palace in Khartoum just hours after it was recaptured by the army. Surrounded by cheering soldiers at the venue, General Burhan declared the capital free of the paramilitary rapid support forces. This is believed to be the first time he has set foot on the presidential palace since the beginning of the war, almost 2 years ago. We'll be talking more about events in Africa, but in the meantime, let's turn attention to Europe, where Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says he hopes the U.S. will stand strong in the face of Russia's demands for the lifting of sanctions as a condition for a ceasefire deal in the Black Sea. The White House says Russian and Ukrainian delegations had agreed to a ceasefire in the Black Sea after 3 days of separate talks with American officials in Saudi Arabia. But hours later, the Russian government released a statement which included a list of conditions for a peace agreement. The demands include the revocation of Western sanctions on financial institutions in the country's agricultural trade and the restoration of their access to the SWIFT international payment system. President Trump says the U.S. government is looking into the request, but the EU says it would not consider removing sanctions without the unconditional withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine's internationally recognized territory. On the other hand, President Zelensky is still appealing for the permission of Ukraine's membership in NATO. He says his battle-hardened nation would make the alliance stronger. Now to other matters. In a move that threatens to widen the global trade war, the U.S. President Donald Trump has announced new import taxes of 25% on cars and car parts coming into America. President Trump says the latest tariffs would come into effect on the 2nd of April, with charges on businesses importing vehicles beginning the next day. The charges on car parts are to start in May or later. He claims the measure would lead to tremendous growth of the U.S. car industry, promising it would spur jobs and investment. But analysts have said the move is likely to lead to a temporary shutdown of significant car production in the U.S., increase in prices, and strained relations between the U.S. and its allies. The U.S. imported roughly 8 million cars last year, accounting for about $240 billion in trade. Mexico is reportedly the top foreign supplier of cars to the U.S., followed by South Korea, Japan, and Canada and Germany.
This is the beginning of Liberation Day in America. We're going to take back just some of the money that has been taken from us by people sitting behind this desk or another desk that's not quite as nice, but they have their choice of 7, as you know. And we're going to charge countries for doing business in our country and taking our jobs, taking our wealth, taking a lot of things that they've been taking over the years. They've taken so much out of our country, friend and foe, and frankly, friend has been oftentimes much worse than foe. And this is very modest. And what we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff. We started off with a 2.5% base, which is what we were at, and we go to 25%.
U.S. President Donald Trump there. You're watching World Now. We'll take a break and return with more stories, and we'll be bringing you an update on the World Epilepsy Day and what you should know about supporting people living with the condition. Please stay with us.
Every major news story is with Benue perspective and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time?
TVC News. First, with breaking news.
Meet Benga Oreshegu, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 1:30 p.m.
I'm just trying to...
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It counts down to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move ahead.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
How would you say your administration has fared in these sectors?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations, and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m., where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Thank you for staying with us on World Now. For more on the developing situations around African nations, we've spoken about South Sudan, Zimbabwe, Niger, and even Sudan. Joining me for more is an African affairs analyst, Ameladu Musogodi, and he joins us from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Good to have you join us, Mr. Musogodi. As we focus on Africa, let's begin from the world's youngest country, South Sudan. Now, the country's first vice president, Riek Machar, has been placed under house arrest. What is the implication of this for the country's lingering violence?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me again. Well, the implication of that for the polity in South Sudan is that it further throws the country into much unrest. Don't forget that this is a country that has continued to battle for its soul since its independence from Sudan. And now with the placing on house arrest of the vice president, it tells you that the center can no longer hold. And of course, the Falcon cannot get the Falcon anymore. It also tells you of how much the government is crumbling. Let's take our minds back into how this government was formed in the first place. Now, when you have a kind of an arrangement of string bedfellows, you would always come into this. And if you also take a trajectory of governments of unity, so to say, that we've had across Africa, this is always, the implication. And this is also what we are seeing in South Sudan. It shows there is no love lost between the president and his vice, and further divides the country into different camps, knowing full well that the question of tribal sentiment is also much rife in South Sudan. So the overall implication is that the unrest in the country may not be going away anytime soon.
All right, and in its neighboring country, Sudan itself, where South Sudan actually came from, the country's army has taken over the capital, Khartoum, after armed conflict with rebel forces. How sustainable is this victory?
The Sudanese army is doing all it can to ensure that it rattles the rebels. Don't forget that these rebels are also supported by the Islamic State of Africa and a whole lot more. So the Sudanese government understands the business at hand, and it knows for sure that it needs to hold a state. The Sudanese government is obviously also reaching out to some foreign powers to sustain its hold on Khartoum, because losing Khartoum would mean that the government of Sudan has crumbled. And of course, no country and no government or no leader would want to lose the capital city. So you would expect that it is expected that they would hold on to the soul of Khartoum as long as they can to ensure that the rebels are totally, rattled and possibly, quenched.
All right, let's turn attention to Zimbabwe. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has just appointed the country's army chief as sports minister. Some analysts say that the president is, simply acting to shield himself from a potential mutiny. Do you share the same sentiment?
You see, one of the things that we cannot run away from across the world is that when a government begins to lose legitimacy and it becomes so glaring to its face, that government or whoever is the anchor of that government wants to do everything within its power to ensure that it, have its hold on that legitimacy. And one other way of also doing that is to ensure that you are in strong control of your army, and that's what we are seeing, play out in this situation. The Zimbabwean, the government definitely has lost, that legitimacy with the people, with the increasing level of poverty in the country. Inflation rate is not also doing well, and of course, issues around the cost of living and standard of living within the country. So this is a ploy, and I agree with those who believe that he's just trying to have his own hold to prevent a mutiny in his country.
All right, and turning to Niger Republic, from coup leader General Chiani has now been sworn in as transitional president. What do you think about development in the country, especially after the decree ordering that all political parties be dissolved?
That simply tells us that this junta has come to stay. When they came on board in 2023, there was a thought that, we would definitely rattle them. ECOWAS tried its best. And, the first issue was when it was announced that they were going to be there, a 3-year transition period. And then ECOWAS leaders felt, that was not going to work. But now it's going to have a transition period of 5 years. That's to tell you that, to a large extent, a lot of the military takeovers that we have are not geared towards the interests of people. Now, let me say this, that it seems like this government has come to stay because, one, the government has been able to control the power of propaganda, deploy the power of propaganda to control the minds of the people. So they have been able to divert their attention away from their failure, of course, and, keep the burden on the failures of previous administration. And that is made a lot easier. One of the easiest things to do is to fight someone that people hate. You can always spin any narrative and be sure that people will buy it, however ridiculous it will be. And that's one thing that this junta has done. They painted the colonialists, as bad. Even ECOWAS countries like Nigeria have also been painted as, aiders and abettors of neocolonialism, and that this is the reason. And so they said, we need to move to Russia. Without doubt, they are enjoying the legitimacy of the people. And if that is the case, Mr. Musibodi, these are the people who have made them. And who are we to say that their choice is a bad one?
We really do need to go now. Ameladu Musibodi is an African affairs analyst. Thank you very much for your submissions on World Now.
You're most welcome.
Let's talk health now. 26th of March was World Purple Day, and the World Health Organization is raising awareness about epilepsy, a common neurological disorder that can affect anyone at any age. An estimated 4.7 million people with epilepsy live in the Eastern Mediterranean region. The WHO says it is among the 3 most frequently encountered neurological disorders in primary healthcare settings. in 20 of the 22 countries and territories of the region. Despite its prevalence, barriers to care and understanding continue to exist, particularly in low and middle income countries and in emergency settings. Medical experts say epilepsy is characterized by recurrent seizures which occur due to excessive electrical discharges in a group of brain cells.
Is actually a neurological disorder that is characterized by recurrent seizure. And seizure is actually due to excessive electric activities in the brain. The causes could be as a result of injury, it could be possibly as a result of infection, it could be possibly post-stroke. Apart from the fact that there are causes, in many cases we found out that you can't actually trace some of this epilepsy to any cause.
For more on the ailment epilepsy, Faith Stephen, popularly known as DJ Electra, living with a health condition, joins me here in the studio. DJ Electra, good to see you.
Good afternoon.
What's your word again? You know these.
You don't boast.
You don't boast. All right. So you look very stunning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence. So tell us your story.
Well, my name is Faith Uche Stevens, popularly known as DJ Electra. I had my first seizure at the age of 18. I was in school and my friend heard a loud noise, according to her, from the bathroom and came in and saw me head first inside a bucket of water. I could have drowned to death, but she pulled me up. I didn't know what was going on, and when I woke up, I was just asking questions like, where am I? Where am I? So they said I should keep quiet. We're about to write our WAEC. So they took me home, and that was the journey. That was the story. And later diagnosed and found out that I was epileptic.
So what are the challenges associated with living with the condition?
Oh, there's a lot. I did like a self-evaluation of myself, and I noticed before I have a seizure, there are signs. I start jerking, you know, so I noticed flashy lights is one of the challenges I face. So this your light CSF is a trigger. That's why I'm wearing these protective glasses to protect myself. Then excessive reading, excessive concentration, to then excessive alcohol. There are different types. Then there are some medications that affect me as well that can trigger a seizure for me that I avoid. I have like 7 of them and things that I'm battling with. So with the challenge to work, my work as a DJ is affecting me because I cannot scratch like other DJs, you know. Whenever I start concentrating, I get the signs. I start jerking. Because I have to stop everything I'm doing at that time and just relax my brain. So you might not know, sometimes when I'm spinning, I'm just dancing, you know, I'm just being myself. That's the way I enjoy myself, basically.
And it's good to know that you've been able to, you know, discover those trigger factors and be able to work on them.
Yes.
So what should we know, you know, about supporting people? You spoke about your friend and the impact she made when she heard that loud noise.
Yes.
What should we know? How can we support people living with epilepsy when there is an episode?
Okay, basically, there are 3 steps of the awareness that we are creating out there. The first thing you should do is stay calm. When you see someone having a seizure or something, just stay calm, don't panic. Then the second thing, get a pillow and put on the person's head. Turn the head to the side so that the saliva can go out. Please do not put anything in the mouth. Nothing like spoon, like our people do in the local communities. They put Maggi or they start using broom to flog the person. Please, no. Do not put anything in the mouth. Let the saliva just come to the side. Then the next thing that you call ambulance, if we have ambulance or something, or call for help. Somebody to help. If the person comes through, please tell them to calm down. Don't let them speak. Some people can get up and run out. We've seen various situations of that. So that's it, basic 3 things.
All right. So as we mark, you know, the day and as we move on, what is your word to people? What are those myths you've heard and, you know, countering those myths?
Yes, due to a lot of challenges that people struggling with epilepsy face, please. My message to everyone is just believe in yourself. Do the best of your ability. Know yourself. It's self-love before you can give love to others. That's about it. Just believe in yourself. It's not easy.
DJ Electra in the building. Thank you again.
Stop it, I like it.
Thank you. All right, that's Faith Stevens, DJ Electra, sharing her story with us. We wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
All right. Finally, on World Now, some entertainment news. Baby Reindeer seems to be looking to dominate on home soil with 8 nominations at the BAFTA TV and Craft Awards. This comes winning 6 Emmy Awards last year. The Netflix series emerged top of the pack of nominees, landing nods for limited drama. Richard Gard got the award for lead actor and Jessica Gunning and Neva Mao, supporting actress. Further down, there was a 3-way tie for second place with ITV's Mr. Bates versus The Post Office. Disney Plus's Jilly Cooper's adaptation Rivals and Apple TV Plus's spy series Slow Horses, earning 6 nominations each. Disney Plus also earned 4 nominations for IRA drama Say Nothing, just like the BBC documentary Life and Death in Gaza. Well, that is it on World Now. Thank you very much for watching. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring here, please visit our website, www.tvcnews.tv. Join our online community. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG. We're streaming live on YouTube at TVC News Nigeria. We have updates on WhatsApp at TVC News Nigeria. I am Abosede Adeniwa. Thank you again for watching. Good afternoon.
As the Ya Shantiwa War was led by Queen Mother Nana Ya Shantiwa with an army of about 5,000. During the fighting, Queen Ya Shantiwa and 15 other closest advisors were captured, and they too were sent into exile to the Seychelles. Her dream for an Ashanti independence from colonial rule was realized on 6 March 1957, when the Ashanti Protectorate gained independence as part of Ghana. Ghana was the first African nation in West Africa to achieve this feat. She was a successful farmer and mother, an intellectual, a politician, a human rights activist, a queen, and a war leader. Nana Ya Shantiwa died in exile at the Seychelles on 17th October 1921.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News. My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
There's a seed of greatness that resides in every one of us, waiting to be nurtured, waiting to break through. It is the dream you carry, the passion that drives you, the purpose calling you forward. But greatness doesn't just happen. It's nurtured through wisdom, faith, and the right environment to grow. That's why I invite you to join us every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. on TVC News for Recipes for Greatness, a life-transforming broadcast from the Elevation Church. Through powerful teachings, practical insight, and uplifting worship, you will discover how to unlock your potentials and step boldly into God's design for your life. Greatness within you is ready to rise. Tune in and start your journey now.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to Gombe's Transformative Journey. I'm so glad to have you join us. Our focus this week is security. We'll start off with reviewing a major security event that occurred during the week in Gombe. That is the Nigerian Army Civil Military engagement that brought together some of the best journalists in Gombe State and top security operatives
to build synergy and stronger collaboration in the defense of Nigeria's national security. After that, we would also be bringing a feature on security in Gombe State. So sit back and relax as we take this transformative journey together. I am Landry Adeyemi. In a world of information technology, misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation are threats to national security. Weaponization of disinformation is a different level of danger. The Chief of Army Staff is conscious of the threats and seeks ways to partner critical information managers and influencers.
The media's pivotal role in shaping public opinion, informing the public and fostering unity of purpose cannot be overstated. Therefore, we must maintain regular communication channels to ensure transparent reporting on military operations, timely dissemination of information, countering disinformation and misinformation while building public confidence. I therefore urge media practitioners to uphold the tenets of objective, credible, fair, and responsible reporting on the Nigerian Army activities while striking a balance between national security interests and the people's right to information.
The Nigerian Army and the media form two critical pillars in upholding national security. The ability to safeguard our dear national security, therefore, hinges on the collaborative disposition of these two critical pillars.
Experts from both sides examine the areas of conflict between the media and the military. The focus is to strengthen collaboration and form a joint bulwark against national security adversaries.
For us to have confidence in our security agencies, they need to also have confidence in the way we work. We are here because they are there. They are there because we are here.
This information is deliberately created and disseminated to deceive, mislead, or manipulate public perception. It is a strategic tool used in political propaganda, military psychological operations, and influence campaigns. Unlike misinformation, which may be spread unintentionally, this information is intentional and often coordinated. Examples include a foreign adversary fabricating reports of military defection, terrorist organizations spreading false narratives about security operations to discredit the government and the military, or coordinated online campaign designed to influence election or even destabilize a government.
No business if Nigeria does not exist. And the army has no business if Nigeria does not exist. So can we get an understanding that the existence of Nigeria is the primary responsibility of all of us? The journalist is not more Nigerian than the army, than the soldier. And the soldier is not more, doesn't love Nigeria more than the journalist. So if we get that understanding, then it's easy for the journalist to understand that if I report this, it will harm the unity of this country.
The panel discussion was a contest of intellectual prowess channeled at tackling the monster of information warfare and building public trust.
In the eye of the storm, Gombe State came out of tumultuous days of insurgency in the northeast sub-region. Though not totally immune to the sporadic attacks in the sub-region, Gombe State literally became the safe haven for internally displaced persons, majorly from Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. The influxes was a recipe for escalation in crime, besides the overstretch of facilities providing services to the residents.
We happen to be in the midst of the Northeast, and the experiences of our neighbors, always good or bad, tends to hit us in one way or the other. And since we are not direct victims, and we are not in the battle lines, at least we have more peace and we have more time, to plan on our safety and security.
The state government has taken it on itself to continue to improve these people. We interviewed them and they are very happy. They don't even look like IDPs, thanks to the state government.
With relative peace in Gombe State, the attention of the government turns to management of the IDPs to prevent hoodlums from taking advantage of the hungry and traumatized visitors for mischievous purposes. The Inua Yahaya administration provided succor instead to give them a sense of belonging.
The style by Gombe State is to integrate displaced individuals, to make them feel part of the community, and that is what we have done. Of course, we want to recommend the kind of arrangement here in Gombe to other places that suffer the same fate. The best thing to do is not to put people in camps, is to allow them fit into the society, mix up with the people and integrate faster. It's faster this way, and by that integration, the state tends to at least benefit from whatever that are there that will be coming to them through government and other efforts.
Besides emergent security challenges like the Boko Haram insurgency, Gombe State has been grappling with recurring conflict between herders and farmers, with bloody clashes mostly during harvest time and pockets of skirmishes due to encroachment on cattle routes and destruction of crops by herders.
His Excellency has a wider vision of what is happening in Gombe State. He knows the state very, very well. And before my coming into office, I met a committee that to oversee the affairs of harvest for farmers, and that used to be the period for these clashes. For 2 years now, that committee has been doing everything possible to ensuring that there is peace, there is understanding between herders and farmers, both at planting and at harvest seasons. So we try to work with them, and the committee appears where there is any problem.
We know the importance of farming, and then the cultural too, in agriculture, which is the mainstay of the economy of people of Gombe State. So the governor has this at the back of his mind by establishing this committee, so that we can restore the past glory of agriculture taking its rightful place.
Amma yanzu gwamnati zai dauki abun da seti za a yi jara, kuma in aka jara makiyaya za su ji daɗi, makiyaya da manoma za su zauna zaman lafiya.
By the harvest time of 2019, a pragmatic approach by the Inua Yahaya administration halted the farmer-herders clash. To provide permanent solution to the perennial issue, Governor Inua Yahaya set up a high-powered committee to bring sanity into grazing and farming activities.
A committee was set up under the Commissioner of Agric, who of course work together throughout the state to ensure that there is harmony between the herder and the farmer. That helped in solving the problem that may have generated into rustling.
The menace of youth's restiveness, known as the Kalari Boys in Gombe, was another challenge staring security agencies and the government in the face.
Those youths that are engaging in this kind of behavior, we have like some people from the political class that are supporting them, who serve as their shield. But with the coming of this administration, hardly for you to see something like that.
In 2019, Inua Yahaya, the fourth democratically elected governor of Gombe State, with the understanding that security of lives and property is one of the primary responsibilities of government, developed a comprehensive security blueprint for Gombe State, turning the state into a model of meticulously designed security architecture.
What we focused was, if we want to be seen to be serious, security must be taken with all seriousness, and that is where we are. Today, you can sleep. The Security Council meeting comes every month. We conduct that one. That helps to bring in the ideas from various
values. The Gombe State Ministry of Internal Security was established by the Inua Yahaya administration. Through its robust operations, intelligence gathering, ethical reorientation, and enforcement of laws, the ministry has seen incremental gains in bringing down the tide of crime in Gombe State homeland.
In providing security in Gombe State, we have the citizens of Gombe State. I would always mention this, that these are people who are cooperating with the security agencies. And we get information from them, they support us, they agree and accept that yes, they needed the security agencies to discharge their own responsibilities. And therefore, you find out that that cordial relationship between the citizens of Gombe State and the security agencies in the state is very, very cordial.
Gombe has been so privileged that most of these issues of insecurity are not too prevalent in Gombe. And I also want to thank the governor, His Excellency Inua Yahaya. He's doing his best, but like you know, one person cannot do all the job.
Everybody knows that road networks and the street lights helps. And we are getting all these things in Gombe. Yesterday I was in Tumpre. I was surprised because it has been more than a month I have not gone there to Tumpre. When I went there yesterday, I was surprised. In fact, I really praise our governor. I am happy with him because he's doing the road work. We have new roads in Tumpre, which no other governor has done.
To add another vital security layer to the existing architecture, a special purpose outfit called Operation Hattara, Hattara loosely translated means vigilance, was established and sufficiently equipped. The outfit, which was officially commissioned by then Inspector General of Police Alkali Baba, is a well-equipped joint task force of all security outfits in the state.
Close. I hereby commission these patrol vehicles.
Operation Hattara cracked down on juvenile delinquents such as the Kalari Boys, night burglars, and gang rapists, and several other shades of crime and criminal elements.
The executive governor, Governor Inua, in his wisdom, he decided to create this Operation Hattara. This Operation Hattara is a conglomeration of so many people, but brought together with a sole aim of making Gombe secured. First and foremost, in the operation, we're having policemen, we have civil defense, we have professional hunters, we have the vigilant group, as well as the ghost tech.
A non-kinetic approach by the Inua Yahaya administration for a solution to the disturbance of relative peace in the state was the procurement and distribution of soft loan tricycles to 1,000 youths. Another layer of security added by Governor Inua Yahaya was the establishment of the Gombe Security, Traffic and Environmental Corps, GOSTEC, serving both as employment opportunities to redirect the energies of the teeming unemployed youths and a means of upscaling security and orderliness within Gombe State homeland. In 2022, an extraordinary gathering of security experts and critical stakeholders was convened to underscore Governor Inuwa Yahaya's dogged leadership even in the face of daunting situations. Two events come to mind. The first was the October 2020 End SARS protest, where Inuwa Yahaya sought creative and amiable ways of engaging with critical stakeholders to forestall escalation of violence as witnessed in other states in the country. A second challenging development of national scope was the August 1st protests in 2024. In the build-up to August 1st, Inuwa Yahaya met with traditional leaders, clerics, civil groups, and student bodies who committed to dialogue and constructive engagement in addressing the harsh economic realities of the time. However, some unscrupulous elements hijacked the protest, which began peacefully and turned it into an opportunity for breaking and looting of government and private properties. In collaboration with security operatives, order was quickly restored as Inuwa Yahaya inspired the business community to launch a dramatic comeback when he visited the Gombe main market. The regular joint security meetings presided over by the Chief Security Officer of Gombe State, Inuwa Yahaya, provides intelligence to nip in bud any ugly heads of threats to peace in the state. With his understanding that underdevelopment is one of the key drivers of crime, Governor Inuwa Yahaya decided to take developmental projects to the neglected areas of Gombe State. Before the initiative, London Medoroa faced dire security challenges as criminals took advantage of giant gullies to sell illegal substances and hide in those giant gullies. The absence of tarred roads made it difficult for security operatives to access and flush criminals' hideouts in the area. As part of his Network 1100 and Township Roads projects, Governor Inuwa Yahaya built roads and bridges in London Medoroa, transforming slums into urban settlements. In partnerships with the World Bank's Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRISOL, concrete structures were built to control the giant gullies that wasted the entire community. The show of Ogbomosho commended Gombe State's peaceful ambience.
When I was coming, people were telling me, what are you going to do in Gombe? And I said, I'm going to see the sons and daughters of Ogbomosho in Gombe. They said I should be careful. Why Gombe? And I've spoken extensively to the Oba of Yoruba here in Gombe, and he told me explicitly, Gombe is one of the most peaceful states you can come.
The Shah of Ogbomosho and his delegation on a visit to Gombe State in order to reaffirm the enduring bond of friendship that have existed between the royal people, especially from the Ogbomosho Kingdom and the people of Gombe State over a century.
There is virtually no tribe of Nigeria that is not found in Gombe. We'll be living happily with them, and in the true spirit of Nigeria, we are one big family, sharing maybe different rooms in one compound with different mothers, but we believe we have one father, which is Nigeria. We are one Nigeria. So you are coming home. TVC Gombe is your home, and that you have confirmed with the reception and the numbers of people you saw living together, cohabitating in one environment for centuries, and are doing well. We are proud to say that if all the remaining states of Nigeria would be like Gombe,
Nigeria would have been a different country.
His Excellency has invited us. He has shown us love. He is ready to work with us, and we are also ready to work with him.
The Conference of State Directors of Security, which held in Gombe State, commended the extraordinary peace and security enjoyed in Gombe State.
I want also to thank His Excellency for accepting our advices and bringing the service to what it is today, because I believe sharing of information, I know that Governor or the government of Gombe State has confidence in the service, and I pray that to continue to give them confidence.
The security agencies in the Gombe State altogether, we have been working like a family. It has been a successful, continuous working relationship with everybody. All the security agencies in the state, the cooperation and the collaboration that we together, the synergy has made the state to be what we are today.
So our relationship with the security agencies has been very robust. And as usual, we encourage our locals, especially the traditional leadership, in conjunction with the local vigilantes and hunters, to manage internally their issues as we relate, so that between the state and the local governments and the people, at least there is a sort of a mechanism of checks and balance in order to ensure safety and security of lives and property. The results in Gombe, I think, are working, and we're happy that at least comparatively, Gombe is by far safer and better than so many states. Thank God for that, and we thank all the security agencies and the collaborative support that we get from the people.
August visitors such as the Sultan of Sokoto, high-ranking military and police officers have lavished commendations on Inuwa Yahaya's proactive measures in keeping the state secure. Gombe State has since become the center of attraction when it comes to hosting national events like the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria's annual conference. The success story of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's administration in provision of security culminates in series of local and international awards on the governor. The African Security Watch nominated the Gombe State Governor, Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, for the prestigious Best Security Conscious State Governor Award. This international organization is dedicated to raising security awareness and addressing current security challenges across Africa. Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya has emerged as the People's Security Monitor 2024 Security Role Model Governor of the Year. The security atmosphere in the state promotes ease of doing business, such that Gombe State ranked first in ease of doing business in Nigeria by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, in a row, 2021 and 2022. With the slew of security safeguard policies and initiatives put in place by the Inuwa Yahaya government, Gombe State has become an oasis in the middle of a desert.
Security, they say, is the bedrock for any meaningful and sustainable development. And that is what the Nigerian military, the security agencies, and its partners in the media are trying to achieve in the protection of Nigeria's national interest and national security. That's our offering on this episode of Gombe's Transformative Journey, so do join us again same time next week. But if you miss any of our episodes, you can watch them again on our social media platforms. I am Landry Ade.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Tired of spending endless hours in the kitchen? Struggling with bulky appliances? Cooking should be a delight, not a chore. Tired of messy cleanups from kitchen tools that never seem to perform as expected? Do you wish there was a single solution to handle all your blending, chopping, and grinding needs? Introducing the Cook X 4-in-1 Blender, the ultimate kitchen tool to revolutionize your cooking. It's a food processor, mixer, grinder, and blender all in one. The incredible Cook X 4-in-1 blender comes with 3 versatile cup sizes, each tailored to handle a specific task perfectly. The Cook X 4-in-1 blender elevates your cooking, allowing you to effortlessly create truly smooth smoothies. No more stopping, stirring, or straining. Just smooth, consistent results every time. This adaptable blender includes 3 convenient cup sizes, each designed for specific tasks to simplify your life. First, the 650 milliliter cup, the 450 milliliter cup, and the 1.8 liter cup. Additionally, the Cook X 4-in-1 blender features a convenient filter, allowing you to create smooth, pulp-free juices. The secret of the Cook X blender lies in its 800-watt motor, combined with a precision extractor blade, providing the power to transform ordinary foods into extraordinary dishes. And multiple speeds give you complete control over any recipe you create. Savory stews, delicious egusi, perfectly blended beans for akara or moi moi, and everything in between.
The Cook X 4-in-1 blender has been a game changer for me. It takes the hassle out of meal prep and lets me whip up healthy treats for my family in no time.
The Cook X 4-in-1 blender is the only blender I use in my kitchen. Its variable speed control lets me achieve the exact texture I need for each dish.
The Cook X 4-in-1 blender is now available exclusively on ShopX TV. For a limited time, we're offering an exclusive flash sale with up to 39% off. Call now and get the Cook X 4-in-1 blender for 115,950 naira. That's a saving of over 100,000 naira. And remember, you won't just be getting the blender. There is more. Order now and you receive a premium knife set valued at 30,000 naira. Absolutely free. We'll also deliver the Cook X 4-in-1 blender to your door for free. But hurry, this flash sale is for a limited time only. Stock is running out fast, so don't miss this opportunity to upgrade your kitchen at an unbeatable price. Call now while stocks last.
Proceeding is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Every major news story is with Benue perspective and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did they?
TVC News. First with breaking news.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us on TVC News at 4. I am Abosede Adenewa Doremi. The Nigerian Air Force says it has intensified counter-terrorism operations in the Northeast, launching a series of decisive airstrikes that have killed scores of terrorist fighters. Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, in a statement said NAF aircraft delivered coordinated strikes on terrorist strongholds at Warawara, near Wajiroko and Chinene in the Mandara Mountains in Borno State. dealing a severe blow to insurgent activities. The statement adds that NAF identified terrorists stockpiling logistics and planting improvised explosive devices around the Buruku, and the insurgents were later tracked to a concealed location containing a gun truck, ammunition, and fuel reserves. In response, the air component of Operation Hadinkai launched successive airstrikes, destroying key terrorist assets. The strikes eliminated multiple gun trucks, critical supplies, and several makeshift shelters. Now to the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives has rescinded its decision on the second reading of a bill for an act to remove the immunity conferred on the Vice President, state governors, and their deputies. The bill was said to be introduced to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability in public office. However, the House has rescinded the second reading passage, saying the rescission is based on the need to subject the certain provisions of the bill to debate. The House also rescinded its decision on a bill to abolish the death penalty. 42 constitutional amendment bills scaled second reading in the House of Representatives on Wednesday, including the one to remove the immunity conferred on the Vice President, governors, and their deputies. Meanwhile, a bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to provide for the office of the Prime Minister as head of government and the office of President as head of state, and to provide for a framework for the mode of election to the said offices, passed second reading in the House of Reps. The lawmakers have proceeded on Salah and Easter breaks and adjourned plenary till the 29th of April. Elsewhere, a group known as Concerned Citizens Forum has raised concerns over what they called systemic failures and deliberate sabotage of Nigeria's energy sector. Speaking at a press conference, President General of the Forum, Samuel Olakiton, said the decision of the NNPC Limited to stop the Naira for Crude initiative will negatively impact Nigeria's economy. Mr. Olakiton therefore called on President Bola Tinubu to declare a state of emergency on the leadership of the NNPC Limited.
Naira for Crude initiative. This policy was inaugurated on the 1st of October 2024. It was meticulously crafted to strengthen domestic refineries by facilitating the procurement of crude oil using the Naira currency. This brilliant move came with a positive expectation of bolstering domestic refining capacities, attenuate our long-term dependency on imported petroleum products, and fortifying the Naira by alleviating the incessant pressure on our foreign exchange reserves.
You have an agreement that said give them crude for Naira so that Nigerians can breathe. You suddenly overrode the president's position. That is not fair to Nigerians. In fact, let me tell you, we sat down somewhere, by June, we should be having petrol at 400 Naira.
Let's talk a bit of party politics. Presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election, Adewale Adebayo, has confirmed that the party is ready to receive new members with integrity and genuine interest of the masses. Mr. Adebayo, at a meeting with SDP leaders in Abeokuta, said the party has a solid foundation and members must adhere strictly to the rules and obey the constitution. Chairman of the party in Ogun State, on his part, said the structure of the party is not available for hijack and appealed to new members to follow due process while formalizing their membership.
Anybody who wants to join the SDP is welcome, but you must learn our creed. We are for justice, we are for progress. As white as the horse is, so is our heart. We want Nigerian people to regain what Abiola promised. Abiola promised farewell to poverty, and he sacrificed his life for it.
We just don't want them to be unruly. We don't want it to be done in a way that does not have any ethical conduct and in a way that is illegal. We welcome the presidential candidate coming to our state. We are very kind. We are very glad. We are very fortunate to have him. and he has spoken, and we agree with everything he's saying. We support him, and he's supporting us, and we are praying for a better Nigeria, for all of us.
Still in Ogun State, Muslims have been asked to continue to do good, help the less privileged, and contribute positively towards the development of their society. Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Noimot Salako-Yedele, said this in Abeokuta during Ramadan lectures organized by the Ansarudin Society of Nigeria in memory of one of its pillars in Abeokuta, Ahmed Adeyemi. The Deputy Governor, while speaking on good deeds and the inevitable nature of death, wants people to leave good legacies through support and service to humanity.
I pray that Almighty Allah accepts our fast, grants us forgiveness, and answers our prayers swiftly. May He bless us with His mercy and grant us all the best in this world and hereafter, and grant us many, many more years so that we can continue to serve Him as He has asked us to.
We must prepare for death. We prepare for it through good deeds to our relations, to the immediate community, to the society, and the entire world at large. You must have good names and prepare well for death, because it will come.
Now, wife of Kogi State Governor Safina Tododo has encouraged women to remain steadfast in praying for their families while contributing their quota to the sustainable development of the state. Mrs. Ododo disclosed this when she hosted women for a break of fast in Lokoja as part of Ramadan rituals. She urged women to support one another by reaching out to the less privileged in their communities, emphasizing the importance of charity and community support, stating that Ramadan is a period of selflessness and compassion.
My advice today, let's just pray to our family, the government, our children, the country, and our state. To our women, let's just help one another.
The Kebbi State government, under the Zakat and Sadaka Committee, has distributed 30 million naira as obligatory charity proceeds to the indigent individuals across the state. The Deputy Governor, Abubakar Umar Tafida, at the ceremony held in Benue, Kebbi, urged wealthy individuals to contribute to charitable causes, emphasizing that giving Zakat, one of Islam's 5 pillars, purifies wealth and gains Allah's favor. President of the Association of Zakat Operators in Nigeria, Lawal Medoki, commended the governor's efforts, urging others to emulate his generosity during these challenging times. There's more on our website, www.tvcnews.tv. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG. We are streaming live on YouTube at TVC News Nigeria. We have plenty of updates for you on WhatsApp at TVC News Nigeria. I am Abosidi Adeniwa. Coming up next is Sports Desk. Please stay with TVC News. Big day ahead.
Delicious Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Exactly. One Supermalt after breakfast daily keeps us at our best.
Supermalt is specially formulated for today's man and woman.
It has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One super malt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
Cube is available in beef, chicken, jollof, and shrimp flavors at attractive prices of 100, 200, 500 naira, along with saver and super saver packs.
Terra Cube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
We're interrupting this program to bring you a live telecast. Our regular programs will continue shortly. Please stay tuned.
Welcome His Excellency our Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, to get this event started, we shall now take the first stanza of the national anthem and the state anthem. The state anthem. For the opening prayer.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for a day like this. Indeed, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we, the people of Ikono, will rejoice and be glad. Thank you for giving us such a man of honor, a man of respect, a man of integrity, not only to be the governor of this state, but to be a frontliner, a torchbearer, and Father, a savior to the people. Thank you for this flag of ceremony.
We pray for the grace and the strength of God on His Excellency, Pastor Umoeno, and his deputy, and all members of his team. We pray for the contractor, we pray for the workers, and we pray you that have begun a good thing in this place, bring it to completion. You are the Omega and you are the Alpha. You are the beginning and you are the end. When you start, you finish. We cover this project with the blood of Jesus, and we pray that Jesus become the foundation of this project, that this road will become an access of economy, of blessing to our people. In Jesus' name we pray together. Amen.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, we welcome you yet again to a very popular spot in Akwa Ibom State. A road that, if I may borrow the words of Comrade Mobong, has been a noun so far, but it's now a verb. Let me ask the people of Ikono local government area and the people of Akwa Ibom State to put their hands together to celebrate His Excellency, the Governor of Ikono local government area and the entire Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moino, our dear Governor. Please celebrate him.